folks, for another Thursday episode of the Next Shift podcast. I'm Chris. This is Kenny. We are watching the Bruins Jets game right now. We do have a guest who's getting ready to join us as well. Busy game slate today. Kenny, how you doing?
Tired. I can't lie. It's final season in college. Bridgeport played last week, which we were both at. That was a fun game, but it looks like Catholic dropped the gloves off the draw, which is a good sign. But yeah,
3 seconds in.
I'm doing good now. Mark Catholic got me pumped for these last few finals.
Well, since they've already got a fight on the boards, let's bring in our guest, Emily from the Pucks and Powerplays pod on the BSEN network. Emily, how you doing tonight? You excited for this game?
I am excited for this game. Admittedly, I haven't watched a game in like a week. So this is my first game in a few days, and I'm pumped.
I was trying to view, as Kenny mentioned, we were both at the Bridgeport Hartford game this past Saturday, and I had my laptop with me, and I was trying to keep track of the Bruins game, but it just was not being a thing. So I'm excited to be able to watch yet another one.
For sure.
So I'm actually dual screening right now. I also have the Montreal-Pittsburgh game on. So,
oh my gosh,
got to watch the Fowler debut.
I'm excited for his debut.
Well, right now Montreal's winning 1-0 in the first period's about 2 minutes left. So, I was just telling Kenny, I really am hoping that Caulfield scores and nothing else happens in this game, because that'll win me some decent money on a few bucks.
That's so funny.
I'm sure Jacob Fowler feels the same. So
yeah.
Yeah, well, it's funny because depending on where you look, this game had 3 different start times.
Gotta love when that happens. Never a dull moment.
Oh man, you can't get any better than that.
I mean, just, the league is so organized. I'm so surprised that there would be any misinformation anywhere, ever.
Yeah, I mean, they get everything right 100% of the time. They're flawless. Their suspensions are on point. Like, just they're perfect league.
Truly.
And then on top of that, they work with other great organizations that know how to build rinks like smooth, and they're going to be perfect and no flaws, no problems, no worries or anything.
Yep.
I gotta ask.
Selfishly, I hope the NHL players don't go. More of a chance for my guy Damian Clara to win a gold medal over in Italy.
Well, that's the funny thing is, some people are still going to go, whether the NHL players go or not.
Yeah. Well, and the big thing that they talked about after Four Nations was injuries, and this is why we haven't allowed players in international competition during the season with all these injuries. Well, half of the guys going are currently injured from in season or still from Four Nations last year. So all these guys you said were going, half of them aren't even going right now.
Yeah, if the games were tomorrow, they're on the roster but listed as injured and being replaced. So
yeah, considering in season, what is it? Jack Hughes won. Just I don't know what happened there. Like so many off ice injuries that have happened. Just unbelievable.
Luosterainen's grill blew up. Like, just so many things going on.
Teach these players how to DoorDash. Keep them away from the stove.
I know, right? You'd think.
Well, isn't it like Fraser Minton said that he never cooks at home? He just always brings food home from the rink every single day.
Probably. I mean,
that's why he's elite.
The Bruins do take care of their guys when it comes to their food. Like, they do. They are very on point with what they do. Not every club is like that.
That's a good point.
Really?
Yeah.
It seems like a pretty easy thing to do.
Well, that's the thing. You want your guys to, have everything they need, be successful. You got to give them the tools. If that tool means you're buying them food, fucking buy them food.
I feel like food should not be considered a tool. Like I feel like it's food.
Well, but that's what I'm saying is, like, you got to give your players all the ability to have the success to prepare, and a meal is part of that.
Well, actually, I guess you're right, because there was a story that came out earlier. I forgot his name. New Jersey Devils. The player was struggling, Russian, and he couldn't find places to eat, and yeah, he was shocked because he was like in the KHL, they had pregame and postgame meals, and here I'm struggling to read the English, and I, can't get anything to eat. So I don't know. Apparently, maybe you're right. So.
Well, I know when I was working for the Revs and they were building their practice facility, one of the things that they made sure they showed us, just as showing off the building, was, where they get food, where they're able to eat. And obviously they're owned by the Crafts, so like they have plenty of money. It's not, but like even a team like Winnipeg has enough money to feed their players. Like that seems to me like a basic thing.
You would think. Like you spend all this money on nutritionists, on gyms, on PT for these guys. The minimum you could do is also make sure that they are getting that nutrition that theoretically you're preaching to them.
Right. And also, let's be honest, it's a tax write-off expense anyway. Like, at least try. All right, Montreal's done their first period, and we go on to a power play. I got to ask you, have you seen the Stadium Series jerseys?
I just saw them right as I was coming on.
What did you think of them?
I like the yellow. I don't necessarily love the way they did the logo on the front.
That was our biggest critique.
I like that we tend to use the yellow jerseys though when we have special events. But I don't really like the way they did the logo.
I feel like they should have picked one, either the word Boston or the bear with Bruins written on it.
I agree.
But I also don't hate that they went with an altered version of the B on the shoulder patch. Like, is it a great change? It's fine. Nothing wrong with it. I'm just glad they tried something different. But I'm with Kenny. I don't like the white gloves.
Oh, I didn't even see the gloves yet.
There, let me pull this up. I can show it here in case anybody who's watching hasn't seen it. That's Hampus showing off the whole uniform.
No, I don't like that.
I feel like the gloves should be black.
Yeah. No, I don't like that. The rest of it is fine. I agree with the logo. It's not my favorite. I agree one or the other. But, like, I don't like the white gloves. I understand what they were going for. I get the vision. I don't agree with the vision.
And then that's the new altered B on the shoulder patch.
I like that B.
And there was a couple other images that they had.
It kind of reminds me of like the jerseys that I would create in Chell back in the day. Like I'm not a huge fan of the yellow. I wish that I honestly don't have a problem with the bear and the Bruins or whatever it says Boston, on the front, but I would like for it to be like split up. Like I don't like that they're together. They're so close. Looks like they're almost overlapping.
Yeah.
And then you got the
6
states listed.
I love that.
Love the Connecticut shout out right there.
I don't get it though. Like, I guess they're the only pro team for Connecticut. Mm-hmm. They got 2 American Hockey League teams, but
soon to be 1.
Oh yeah, that's right. One of them's going to be moving.
Who's moving?
Oh, maybe moving. Likely moving.
Bridgeport.
Oh.
So tough.
If you guys hear really weird noises, it's my dog. She has like one of those balls thing that you put like a peanut butter ball into the silicone thing. And she also has her little lampshade on, so she can't really access it that well. So she's making so many weird noises trying to eat this damn thing.
Well, Winnipeg just scored.
After the power play, too. Like a whole minute and a half. Okay, but speaking of jerseys, this is so girly of me, but I really like Winnipeg's jerseys.
Oh, these ones? Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the goal again. I wonder if they might end up looking at it for a review.
They're not.
They're not?
No.
I just reversed it a little bit so I could try and get another look at it because I was half paying attention to it. Did they already redrop the puck?
Yeah.
All right, then I'll skip back to live.
I like the Winnipeg jerseys. I try not to like jerseys that often because I'm broke. So, it's tough to like look at stuff and you're just like, wow, that's so nice. I could really use that for my wall.
Yeah.
I opted for a Georgi Merkulov jersey, so I'm good for the year.
Yeah, that one's aging well. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, it's his first year jersey, so it's number 8, not number 10. It's OG. Nobody else on this. If anybody else has this, jersey like this, I don't know what to say. I tell people that I'm the only one on the planet that has it. So
wait 5 years and wear it to a Prov game.
Oh yeah, maybe I'll be featured on Diver's Twitter.
People who have a Lysell jersey will probably be.
You just had to do that. You had to say it.
Yeah,
of course.
Chris hates young players.
Oh, that's what it is. All of them.
Chris, how do you feel about Patrick Brown?
Loves him.
In what sense?
Any sense. All of the senses.
I like the fact that he's part of the organization because he brings a very valuable piece to it. Mm-hmm. But I mean, he fills the role. I mean, he's probably one of the guys in the league who does that job the best. He doesn't complain about getting tossed up in the NHL last minute, having to fly across the country. Like, he'll do it, no problem. He's capable of it. He can fill in on your fourth line if you need him to.
All right. I mean, that's a bold statement saying that he's the best in the league at doing that.
At this specific role, Kenny.
No, I disagree. Like, I think Bridgeport has a few guys that could, players that actually join the Bruins, join the Islanders, and contribute. How much does Patrick Brown contribute? Not much.
No, he doesn't. No, I'm talking about as far as, and then also being able to go down to Providence and actually help the players down there accomplish anything as far as their own development. I think Fabian Lysell needs to be stapled to Patrick Brown's right side for the next 2 months. Then maybe he might be ready for a call-up.
That's what happened last year, and it ended up working out. So, I don't know.
I think everything's pointing to Lysell leaving either way. So, I mean, if he's going to leave, we better get something for him before trade deadline.
Well, he hasn't demanded a trade or asked for a trade or anything like that. He's not complaining about the situation. It's just
not that you know of. Not that you know of. I don't know. Maybe maybe you're in the room. I don't know.
No, I've asked a few people, and so far that's not been, his attitude hasn't been a problem. It's just the effort on the ice with actually trying on defense, actually trying on 100% of the time. That's been the biggest issue. Now, obviously, there's other factors of the organization, guys like Arvidsson, the way he's playing, he's not really forcing your hand to have to call him up.
Yeah.
It would have been nice, as a fan to see him get a chance when Arvidsson was hurt, but he was not playing well. He was injured. Like, there were other factors that kept him not called up. And then now, I mean, he has a chance to show, you should call me up. I have this level of effort and so on and so forth. And he just hasn't done it.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it the other day. Like, he's making it extremely difficult to earn a call-up because of the effort, especially in the defensive end. Like, you can't put out that type of effort and expect a call-up. It's a terrible precedent to set for other prospects that are down in Providence. Like, oh, okay, you can average, a point per game? Dan Zachmelis was 2 points per game last season. Why didn't he get a call-up, right? Like, if it only mattered about the offense and it doesn't matter about effort anywhere else on the ice, then there should be a ton of players that are going to get called up. So you don't want to, when you're in this position, you want to be 100% right. You don't want to, give the Bruins any doubt to call you up. And that's what Lysell gives them. So,
yeah. Well, and especially when we need more help on defense right now. And when Sturm is playing a more defensively minded game, if you're not playing defense, you're not getting your shot. And especially like what you guys said of Arvidsson's been doing the job. Like, it's not like last year where people are getting called up and they're like doing random shit on the ice. And then we're like, okay, this was a fail. Thanks.
Yeah.
See you later. Like, when they're getting called up, they're doing well this year.
Yeah, and let's not forget, he got 12 games at the end of last year. And I know they were not the greatest of like circumstances as far as where the team was in the standings, but I mean, Pastrnak was still putting in the effort, Geeky was still putting in the effort, Lindholm was still putting in the effort, Farinacci was putting in the effort. Like some of them were not good players, but they were trying their ass off. And so when you compare what and he wasn't terrible, but he just didn't do enough to say, I'm an NHLer for next season.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is he gave like, I don't know, he was 9 games. I felt like he just kept getting better and better. And then he ended up going and playing in the playoffs for Providence and was just awful. He was probably one of the worst players on the ice. He was on the fourth line or, not playing. Like, he's a player that's coming from the NHL. You expect him to play, and then he's sitting in the press box because he's just not performing well. Honestly, I mean, most of the Providence team did not play well. Like, I think there was a select few like Patra and Minton and obviously DiPietro and Bussy were guys that played really well. But, everybody else was just not good.
Gallagher had a decent playoff run. A couple of the other guys on the blue line did, but looks like Pasta just got one in.
Well, and it was the Bears we had lost against, wasn't it?
Charlotte Checkers.
Oh, that's right.
Second round, yeah, brutal.
They were good.
Took them to 5 games though, so they tried it. That was all
hell of a series.
30-second delay. I'm just seeing this goal now. What the?
That was a snipe.
I saw someone earlier today when they were trying to justify Fabian Lysell coming up, and they put him on the third line with Husnudinov and Pastrnak, and they didn't have Steves in the lineup at all. They had, I think it was Easymont also out, and I'm like, you literally can't pull Steves out of this lineup right now, not just for how he's playing, but because of the message that it sends. There's a reason Steves is still up and Lysell's still down.
Yeah.
I try not to argue with idiots. I really don't, but some of the takes that I see are just...
I thought about saying something, but I was just like, I don't have the time and the wherewithal to deal with this.
Well, first off, I need you to keep arguing with people because I argue with people through you. So when you stop, I'm not getting my fix. But one of the dumbest things that I think I've seen, and I don't know why people keep bringing this up like it's a smart thing to say, people are like, well, Lysell turns the puck over a lot, but so does David Pastrnak. So I don't know why people still say that. Until Fabian Lysell puts up 100 points in the National Hockey League, that's not a valid, So does, Nathan McKinnon turns the puck over a lot. Connor McDavid turns the puck over a lot. But comparing Fabian Lysell to those players is like, I can't even take you seriously. And somehow, it's still, I still see people using that argument on Twitter. It's terrible.
Well, people want to trade David Pastrnak because he turns the puck over.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. I can't. I don't argue with anybody on Twitter anymore.
Logic was stupid.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. And there's a difference between saying something because you don't understand certain things.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going to defend the take to the whole wad of your being and refuse to even try and see a different perspective of it, then you just don't care.
Accurate.
Did you see back to the jerseys real quick. Did you see the Tampa jerseys for this game?
Just looking at them, I don't like it.
At all.
It looks like it's like a, what's the website where you get fake ones?
From China? Or like DH Gate?
I was thinking DH Gate, but
it's the Wish version of a Tampa jersey.
Like, it looks like it's screen printed in somebody's basement.
Yeah, it's definitely a Wish jersey.
Slightly aggressive, but
the Make-A-Wish jersey.
Okay, the sleeves are cool. The little skull things on the sleeves are cool, but the rest of it is dumb.
Well, how the hell did a skull become the logo of the freaking Tampa Bay Lightning?
I don't like the lightning in the letters. I don't like. Obviously, I get it. They're the Lightning, but Maybe it's the color. I don't know. I would like all different pieces of it in different designs, but together I don't. Minus the skull. The skull is just dumb.
Well, now we're up 2-1.
Casey Middlestad. What a pass. Was that Lorai? Yeah. Beautiful pass by Lorai.
Ooh. Good shot, though.
It was an empty net.
No, I mean the shot itself was decent. Well, yeah, I mean it was an empty net because it's Eric Comrie in net. I have a feeling Boston's posting like 6 tonight. Comrie's he's overworked and he's not that great. He puts up good numbers because he starts 30 games in a season.
Yeah, against the bottom of the barrel teams. I mean, I guess you're pretty much on target right now. 2 goals in 10 minutes, so or 2 goals this period, I should say. 2 goals in 10 minutes would be 12.
Yeah, no kidding.
12 goals, little overestimate.
Well, I also can see once they get to like 4 or 5, they kind of just back off a little bit just so they can get the hell out of there. Kill the clock so they can get on the road. Whoo! And that was Sean Corrali. Oh my God. Sean Corrali out here looking like Connor McDavid.
I don't know. Maybe 12 is possible.
Maybe.
This is going.
I'll tell you this. Comrie's getting pulled tonight.
Who's the backup?
I don't even remember.
Okay, I just saw the goal. Now I'm getting it.
I get stuck because I think I'm ahead of everybody, so I kind of just wait until Chris sees it or whatever, and then I'm like, all right, now I can talk about it.
Their backup is Thomas Milic.
I used to watch through ESPN because I live in Panhandle, Florida, so I'm not in anybody's zone, so I wouldn't get blackout games. All of a sudden this year, ESPN has blacked me out on everything. So I use other methods on the interwebs to watch all of the games. So I'm always delayed because it has to shuffle through whatever to get to the place that I watch.
When ESPN changed their packages, did you end up upgrading to the new one?
Yes.
The one that's like $30?
Yes. And I'm still blacked out for everything.
That's weird.
Yeah. Because I was getting NESN games or NESN broadcasts through ESPN in Florida.
As bad as it...
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, it was very interesting.
Are you able to subscribe to NESN 360 down there?
No.
I mean, I wouldn't recommend it.
I mean, I wouldn't recommend it either, but at the same time, it would at least give her access to the games.
Yeah.
Not great access. I mean, I'll put it this way. NESN 360 is so bad. NESN does a secondary broadcast, the Unobstructed Views. Yeah. I don't know if you've seen that one. Unobstructed Views uses the NESN feed so that they have the feed of the game and then they have the feed of the guys on the couch.
Yeah.
Was it Tuesday? Yeah, it was Tuesday when they were doing the Unobstructed Views. The entire NESN feed of the game shit the bed. So the guys on the couch couldn't watch the game and people at home couldn't watch the game. I literally said to Gail, I was like, leave it to NESN to produce a stream of the game that relies on their own stream of the game to watch it and have both of them be completely useless.
That's crazy.
So, oh, wow. Baz says he gets NESN broadcasts in Pittsburgh. Blackouts are still hit and miss, though. So it's the problem with that is if you can't even get NESN 360, what's the fucking point of making an app if you're not going to let people around the country use it?
This is my thing with all of the things, all of the broadcasting, all of the subscriptions, all of the everything, is you're actually not getting more money with the way that you're currently doing things. You're actually decreasing your money because there's stupid stuff like this where I pay $30 a month to get hockey and baseball, and then I can't even get any of the games. And so then I'm not going to pay you even the $10 a month that I was paying last year to get basic stuff because I only use it to watch baseball and hockey, and you're not giving it to me. So you're actually decreasing the money in your own pocket.
And at a certain point, you're going to sit there and say, fuck this, cancel it all, keep the $40 a month, and watch it the way you're watching it anyway.
Yep.
That's like, this has been happening for ESPN for like a while. This is not not new that they're losing. It's getting to a point where like the prices keep they keep losing people, so they keep increasing the prices, which is, an awful way to go about it, because once you get, down to it, right, it's going to be one person paying, like, obviously that'll never happen, but that's kind of the way that it's going. Like, it's terrible. I can't talk too badly because like I actually use ESPN a lot and I like it, and I'm able to watch the Islanders play, which is, a huge plus. But Nesson's just awful. Like, I watch the Islanders stream and I'm like, man, I would like much rather have like an Islanders game on in the background than a Bruins game.
Yeah.
I mean, I use ESPN all the time to watch other games all the time. I will say this: Flow Hockey, so much better. Much better.
That's who the AHL goes through, right?
AHL, Q, OHL, SHL. There's some D3 college on there, like
D1 too. Depending on what college you went to.
I think it's 150 for the year, but there's so much fucking hockey on there. It is so worth it. And they keep the broadcasts on there. By the way, Nesson, which Nesson doesn't, you can't watch a replay of the game. So like if I wanted to, if I missed last week's Bridgeport game, I could go back and watch the replay anytime I want. And they produce both broadcasts.
Yeah.
So, well, as long as a team makes it available, because Providence doesn't always send their guys on the road.
I don't think they ever send their guys on the road.
Probably not. They're too cheap. We're talking about the organization that doesn't do a stream for their own freaking prospects challenge.
Yeah.
All right. But they got no problem throwing money to Buffalo so that they can stream their own. Like, come on. Oh, how did that one go in? I follow. Damn it.
I love Flow because they're really open with allowing people to use their content. So, like, the fact is, like, I can go watch games and then I can clip stuff and then post it, and they're completely fine with it. So you get a lot out of it. So I'm paying $150, but I'm seeing some kind of return by the content that I'm able to put out because of it. So it's worth it for me, I would say. I think it's worth it for everybody who's a hockey fan. Like, there'll be just random games on. I could also watch my friends who are playing in the USHL Premier, NCDC.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The USHL is on there, too. I forgot that.
Yeah, so, I could watch my friends, and then, I could go watch whatever else, and I love it. So can't speak highly enough of Flow Hockey.
Another good one for lower levels is Live Barn.
Oh, yeah, Live Barn.
That's another decent one. Again, depending on what level you're looking for. But
Live Barn is tough because there's obviously no commentators or anything, and it's also automatic. So like it kind of just scans the ice. I remember being younger, you buy Live Barn, you're like, oh, I'm clipping this. I just hit the nastiest move. Then you go back and you watch it, and you're like moving so slow.
And you're like, oh, damn.
Yeah, I don't know if this one's gonna make the clip. I definitely have a few clips because I have some people that, like to talk shit. And I'm like, hey, listen, I used to be decent back in the day. If I didn't blow my knee out, I could be playing in the NHL right now. I'll be telling my kids that too. So I have to have something to back it up.
I mean, you got no proof that you wouldn't be there.
Yeah. I don't know. But I got the clips,
That's
so... you got the proof that you played. That's all that you need. No one else can say anything.
I got the clips from like U16. It's very funny because I was talking to Bridgeport's broadcaster, Jason Shia. He was an emergency backup goalie for a game, and he's very humble about it. Like, he does not tell people about it. And I'm like, man, I still tell people that I was over a point per game in beer league like 2 years ago. So the fact that like I would tell everybody that I played in an AHL game. Like that's so cool. But
that's your icebreaker for everything.
Yeah, no, exactly. Well, we were talking about, he asked me, like, what I play, and I was like, oh, I don't play anymore. And then I also made the joke. I was like, yeah, I was, point per game in beer league, so put me on a line with Pasta or something like that. And I can't believe that he didn't mention that he was an emergency backup in the AHL. I actually was just skating with him the other day. Like, he's nasty. Like, he's pretty good. Like, and he's competitive. Like, so it's clear that he's seen some pretty good shooters, because he didn't play when he was younger, and somehow he's like better than the goalies that we see in beer league all the time. Like, it's pretty decent. So good for him.
That's funny. My brother is technically my half brother, and I just recently found out, like within the last year, that his dad played juniors in the town I went to college in. There was only a juniors team for like 2 years, and he played juniors in the town I went to college in, and that's how him and my mom had met. But I didn't know anything about like this historical context of my brother's dad's hockey career. And I was like, did you know that he played? He's like, yeah. I'm like, you never told me? You never told me anything about this. He's like, why would I tell you about my dad's hockey career? I'm like, because I like hockey. I
right. Don't you said the key word, hockey.
Hockey. My personality, books and hockey.
Where'd you go to college?
I went to college at a very, very, very small school in upstate New York. I went to SUNY Plattsburgh. It's like Plattsburgh, Vermont, and Montreal kind of meet there, or New York, Vermont, and Montreal just kind of meet there.
That sounds like where a buddy of mine, actually, ironically, he played hockey while we were growing up, where it sounds like where he got married. I was so damn close to Canada that
it's half an hour away from the border.
That sounds about right, yeah, because my radio was set to the Boston Bruins radio station, and when I was leaving his wedding, my radio kicked on. I was about to plug my phone in to, listen to stuff just until I got back close enough to Massachusetts, and the game that was on, I went, oh, this is hockey. Oh, this is hockey in French. It's the Canadiens game.
Yes. Everything is in French and English there. So it's my mom and dad's hometown is where I went to college. My grandma, I believe, was first, or I guess maybe my mom was technically first generation US from Canada. So like not really, but yes. But my grandma didn't speak English until she went to American school at the age of 9. She only spoke French, and she had to learn English in American school because they were from either Quebec or Montreal. But everything there, like all the road signs, are in English and French because you're that close to the border that people from Montreal and Quebec come down all the time.
We got Elias to the box for Trip.
I ask anybody who mentions college, like, oh, where'd you go? Did you enjoy it? I have to transfer after this year, so I've gotten some pretty good recommendations. Like Gail gave a pretty good recommendation. I've had some pretty
but Gail recommended Northeastern, dude.
Yeah, like
all right, like come on.
Yeah.
So my day job is working with college students. So I work for a sorority's headquarters, doing educational programming for all of our chapters. And it was very interesting coming from this very, very small D3 school. We don't have a football team. We only have hockey, baseball, lacrosse, soccer, and basketball. And those are like your major sports. And it's really just hockey and soccer. I moved to Arizona right after school because my sister was going to University of Arizona, and I volunteered at Arizona State. And now I live in Florida with all these SEC schools around me. And the difference in colleges between like the Northeast in general versus like this very small D3 school versus like Boston versus like my brother went to RIT versus West schools and South schools. I'm like, it is universes apart from all of these schools. And then having to work with, we have 175 chapters across the US and Canada. You have to have different lingo when you talk to all these chapters. You have to have like a different, just like mental setup to talk to different colleges. It's so interesting to me.
That's hilarious.
I also don't know what any of them are talking about when they use their slang. I'm only 31 and I feel old.
Yeah, well, I can make you feel much older. Hey, Kenny, tell her your age.
I'm 19.
Yeah, no, I don't understand what college kids are saying. They say things to me and I'm like, talk to me like I'm 5, please. No idea what these words mean to me.
That's okay. I can feel even older. My daughter is 16 and she just got her permit.
That's a scary time in life.
Very scary for me. So, yeah. I can't recommend the school that I went to, Kenny, because they don't exist anymore.
Hey, listen, I've heard there's some pretty elite alumni, like the president of the Worcester Railers, and of course Chris Nosek.
Yeah, well, we're so legendary that the school ended up going defunct and closed.
Yeah, you should bring it back.
Legendary.
There's a lot of that happening in the next 5 years. I was reading an article today about 2 colleges that are merging to try to save their college or colleges.
I mean, that makes sense. That's a move that would make a lot of sense for places, but I mean, there's a lot of things that are going to be different in 5 years.
Yeah. Well, there's not the humans anymore to support some of these schools.
I mean, think about it. Like, I'm surprised Kenny's even sitting here going, let me think about transferring. Like, I sit here and I go, why the fuck would you?
I have to. I'm done after this year. I go to community college for free in Connecticut, so.
But what I'm saying is like, you don't have to. There's plenty of jobs that you can go to with the education you already have.
Yeah.
You don't have to accumulate all this debt.
Well, I mean, all this debt is, I have no idea what it's going to be. Like, I feel like I'm doing pretty well for 19, like, especially professionally. So I think that'll take, and my grades are great. So, you know, we got to see if it's worth it. But I definitely want, because this is what I want to do. So, like, what am I going to do? Be like, oh, associates, like, that's it. Nobody's going to hire me. So,
oh, yes.
My mom just went back to school to get her bachelor's at 60. She had an associate's, some science associates as a lab tech and worked in nonprofit for 15 years with a degree that had nothing to do with anything she was involved in. She basically just got bored, and my dad had like military GI Bill stuff, and she was like, man, might as well go get my bachelor's. So she just went and got her bachelor's because she was bored. But she had a degree that had nothing to do with what she was doing for years.
Yeah, honestly, like something like 70% of people don't get a job in their degree.
Yeah, mine's in marketing. I had a social media concentration, which I like kind of use, but like not really. I learned more like on TikTok than I like use from my schooling.
Baz, I had a ton of college debt and never worked in any field to do with my degree. Yeah, because all a college degree does is prove to a company that you can do repetitive things to the tune of, you know, basically succeeding in your role. That's all it proves.
What would you want to go to school for to get your bachelor's in?
Sports management or sports journalism, but like that's what I'm doing now. Like I have media credentials.
Yeah,
like, I have been the last 2 years. So like I really don't. So like I took a sports media class, and then you know, I don't know what happened, but my professor was like, gave me like a lower grade on something, and I was like, well, you know, it got 30K views on Twitter and people loved it. So I mean, like it's constantly changing. So the fact is, like, you could take a class now and then in 2 years it's going to be completely different.
That's why I would advise, like, honestly, this is coming from someone who's been in so many jobs over the last 15 years. Don't bother going to school because you're already doing what you want to do. You're better off taking those 4 years and going all in on what you're doing right now because it's close to home, because it's low cost to you. You will build a much better resume over the next 4 years of just just covering Bridgeport the way you're doing right now, and then the money will find you.
See, I could do both. Like, I'm going to do both.
Oh yeah.
So I'm fine with it. Like I said, I just I gotta see how much it is. Like, I don't know how much
you have.
So we'll see.
Yeah, you have a luxury of being able to go anywhere you want, look at all of your options, kind of shop around, if you will. Like, you have some luxuries in there, but it's just you don't have to do any of that. So Baz says, I'm now retired from law enforcement and own a restaurant. Degree was park and recreation management.
That's so funny.
As he said,
my husband has like an art degree in video game design. He can make like went to school to learn how to make people in video games. He works with weapons. Completely unrelated. He did just go back to school to get like a degree in firearms technology or something. But like has an art degree in video game design that he's never going to use ever in his entire life. If he does, somebody mark it on the calendar that I said today.
Oh man, life is, like I said, five years from now, it's all going to be different. So,
well, and especially in sports, like I feel like you get more experience with what you are doing, Kenny, right now, and it's going to be more tangible to you. Like, school's going to teach you how to properly write an article or how to properly do the thing that you are already doing.
Yeah, like he said, you did something and your teacher was like, this wasn't good enough, and yet the internet told you otherwise.
Yeah, I'm not worried about learning anything. I'm worried about having the piece of paper that says that I could do it, you know? Also, it was actually funny because I was talking to Jason and I was talking to, that kid, Sam.
Yeah.
And he was I was like, oh, what did Jason say to you? Because Sam wanted to be a broadcaster. And Jason was like, you don't want to be a doctor? He's like, no. He's like, no, I want to be a broadcaster. For me, like, I'm not too worried. Like, I'll figure it out. You know, what I'm doing now is like, I look at other kids that do, they went to like an actual 4-year school and what they're doing. And I would say like, I'm pretty much ahead of them. So I'm not too worried. Like, usually people get out and they're like, oh, I need experience to get a job, but I just got out of college and I don't have any experience. I mean, I have experience. So, I'm going to keep building that. And then, we'll see.
Well, and you can always go back to, like, say you do decide that you're not sure where you want to go and like you do want to make the most of it. And if it is important to you to like have the degree, like you potentially want to consider better schools than others too, and take time considering that. You can also take a year off, build your credentials a little bit more, spend more time getting more experience with more teams and more workplaces, and then go back after a year too.
If I take a year off, I'm never going back. I feel like once I taste freedom, like that's it. Like,
I felt the same way, but at one point I did go back for a little bit, and the only reason why I ended up not finishing when I went back was because other things in life got in the way and all that stuff. I mean, try and work full time, have my daughter, have trying to juggle school, work, all those types of things. It just was at that point way too much. But and even now I sit here and I don't rule out going back. It's just as long as you don't have other things in life that make you sit there and go, fuck going back, you have every ability to go back. You can just be lazy and not do it.
Yeah, I've had a grad school application in process for like a year. One of these days I'll get to it. Also, just like the same thing though, things keep coming up like as I'm applying, and I'm like, maybe right now isn't the time for this.
It's also hard to go back after Christmas break sometimes. Exactly.
I don't have that luxury. I have 6 classes this past semester, and then I'm taking 2 during the winter. So December 23rd is when those 2 classes open. So I will not be having a Christmas break. I will be working through So then I'm able to graduate because they at a community college, they set it up for 3 years. And I was like, there's no way I'm sitting here for 3 years. So I'm doing 2 years, but it's like, you got to take like six classes, which is like 18 credits a semester. So
I did that my junior and senior years. I changed my major 4 times in college. The last time was between my sophomore and my junior years, and I decided to do a 4-year program in 2 years. So I took summer classes, I took winter classes, I just kept going essentially to get it done.
Sorry, they were just showing the replay of the Middlestat goal.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, Winnipeg having that angle, the camera angle from the corner, worst angle ever. Sorry. I was just looking over. I was like, God, this angle's terrible. Because it's like upper balcony from the corner. You're seeing it now?
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
you can't see anything. You can't even see
who the hell would put a camera there? Yeah, who the fuck would put a camera there? Kenny, go to school for camera placement.
I think it was the Mammoth game I was watching a few weeks ago. I don't know if it was home or away, though. Wherever they were playing, the camera angles were awful, or I don't know, but it was terrible. And it had to have been a Bruins game because it looked like we were on a droid, like following the puck. I was like, this is terrible, and I hate this.
Oh, I'm trying to remember which broadcast that was. I think it was a Bruins game because it was almost like it was panning with the play.
I was getting like seasick watching the game.
I know the broadcast you're talking about. I don't remember who it was against.
I probably was not watching. I can't lie.
No, you were probably watching your Islanders.
I have not watched a lot of Bruins this year, so.
No, but you've been watching a ton of Matthew Schaefer.
I know, it's awesome. Like, he's so good.
I gotta say though, having watched, like, Bridgeport is developing. Like,
well, so that's what happens when you have the ownership of the Islanders own the AHL team. They're not necessarily concerned with winning. They're more concerned with just player development. The only problem, they had a problem last year because players were regressing and they weren't winning. This year, players are developing and they're still not really winning, but they're just like, okay, that's fine because players are getting ready. Travis Mitchell just scored. Cal Ritchie came up and he's been great. So like Mark Gackham, he's been great as well. Like, so all the players that have come up have been fantastic. So that's all they really care about, which is why the team is most likely going to be leaving because, I mean, Chris, you were at a game where there were a lot of Hartford fans, but
oh my God, that building was empty.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could tell who are like the diehard fans because you see them every time, and there's not a lot of them.
I was gonna say there's like 30 of them. They all stand out.
Chris, you were like, oh, with the hats, like that's how you could tell when they're not like fans. They're there for like their Girl Scout troop, or they're there for their school trip or something like that. Is when they give out those free hats. So when you walk around and you see people wearing those hats, you're like, wow, there's so many people wearing those hats, and it's because they're not hockey fans. They don't care. Like I told you, I was doing the light for that school day game. One of the worst experiences of my life. The novelty of being at a hockey game wore off within 5 minutes, and they were asking their teacher when they could go back to school. I was like, are you kidding me? You get to sit here and watch a hockey game and you're like, teacher, when can we go back to school?
It's
that
10
happens
o'clock.
With the Syracuse Crunch sometimes too, actually. Like, and I think it's because they're so far away from their affiliate that like,
oh yeah,
it just doesn't make any sense for a lot of people. But the Crunch uses a lot of like local school groups for opportunities and stuff.
Yeah, because Syracuse is the affiliate for Tampa, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't seem to be hurting the Springfield Thunderbirds. They pack that building.
Well, the thing is Springfield is in Mass, which is a very heavy hockey state. It's just in Springfield, you are 3 hours away from getting to a Bruins game. Yeah. So if you've got the Thunderbirds right there, they're right in your backyard, and not just in Springfield, but that entire strip of cities that includes like West Springfield, Northampton, East Hampton. Like there's a strip of just cities between that strip of cities and Worcester, nothing but land, nothing but the Pike. So like there's small towns with like 45 people in it each. And then you get out to Springfield and you're like, oh, okay, city again, people.
Yeah. Plus they had the AHL All-Stars there in 2019. So that helped like resurge a little bit too.
Yeah.
I'm also gonna guess that more people my geography is terrible, but I'm assuming Rochester and Syracuse are relatively close, maybe
3 hours around the lake.
3. Oh, so not really that close, but
no. Well, I mean, Utica is closer. Utica is like an hour southeast.
Yeah.
East.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, there's also
I grew up an hour north of Syracuse, so that's my connection there to all of this shenanigans.
New York also has a few ECHL teams like the Adirondack Thunder. Yep. Oh crap, there's a couple.
They also have the FHL.
Oh yeah, the Fed.
Yeah. So where I grew up, just got a team like maybe 5 years ago in the FHL.
So there's
Binghamton. A lot of people. Binghamton is an ECHL, I want to say.
Yes.
No. Binghamton is an FHL team, and then they have the Adirondack Thunder that are there, and then the Utica Comets. I know Danbury, Connecticut has their own FHL team. I have no idea how they do, but it's cool that Connecticut has some hockey at least. I don't know if anybody's seen like that Trashers documentary, like the one where
yes.
Yeah.
I just watched it maybe 2 months ago. My husband so I introduced my husband to hockey. So now he's like giving himself a hockey education over the last few years. And we just watched it because he had never heard of them before.
This is where this jersey's from. It's signed because my dad did work for those guys because they do like the Danbury Festival or something like that. They do like the San Gennaro because we're all Italian. It's Connecticut. Like half the people here are Italian. So, it's cool. I loved it. I was like, this is awesome. I can't even believe that. Like, I never knew that this was here. And I played hockey for 15 years.
My husband wore one of my Bruins sweatshirts to work the other day. And we didn't realize that his new boss is from Connecticut and is a huge Connecticut Whalers fan, and told him to leave work. He wasn't allowed to wear Bruins merch into work anymore. And he was like, what are you talking about? So I had to tell him about Connecticut Whalers and Hurricanes and blah, 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 blah. He was like, teams leave? I was like, oh, sweetie.
Tell him about the Jets. Tell them about the Jets and the Thrashers and
the Jets that are no longer the Jets that are now the Jets. That's a new Jets.
Or better yet, if you really want to screw with them, tell them about the Arizona Coyotes that moved to Phoenix and then back to Arizona and still couldn't find a stadium and then had to move to Utah.
Do you know I cried in the middle of the gym as that was happening? So I lived in Arizona for a few years. I am a huge Roadrunners fan because I worked in property management when I lived in Arizona. I have the most random hockey lore in my life. But I worked at a company that had 2 properties. One was primarily student housing and one was family housing. I had a bunch of the Tucson Roadrunners employees live at one of my property, and a bunch of the Tucson Roadrunners players that lived at my student housing. They would just buy an apartment and whoever would come in and out of there as needed. One of their girlfriends worked with me at my family housing. So I went to games for free just about every single weekend. And then we'd also go to concerts they were at Gila River then. We'd go to concerts at Gila River for free because they had like a team suite essentially that nobody was ever using. So the employees would take the tickets and we'd go to concerts. So I am a huge Roadrunners fan and Coyotes fan because of all of that. And I was in the gym when they were doing the press release to say that the Coyotes had been officially sold. And I was sitting in the gym crying, and there was this huge macho dude watching me cry while I'm like working out. He's like, are you okay? I was like, my hockey team just got sold while I'm living in Florida. They have no idea what hockey is here. They're like, oh, okay, step away from the crazy lady. I was like, what?
I don't know what my reaction will be if Bridgeport gets sold. It's going to be tough just because of how many people I know work there and how many.
I don't know if they'd get sold. I think those owners would just straight up move them.
If they move it, like same thing. Like the team's going to be gone. I don't know how I'd react. Like I feel bad for like those people because it's their jobs. Like there's so many fantastic people that work there, and you're just like, now they have to go find another job. Like now these people have to worry, and it sucks right now because nobody knows what's happening, and they're all just in a panic. So,
if I'm not mistaken, at least Smith Entertainment Group, the buyers of the Coyotes, included an opportunity for people to move with the team. Like literally everybody from the general manager to the janitor, like everybody had an opportunity to keep their job and move. And if I'm not mistaken, they offered to pay those moving expenses. Like obviously not for a new house, but like, they would pay for.
They had tried to do right by everybody as much as they could. I mean, but listen, I said this on our podcast a few weeks ago. Look at the difference in this team from 2 years ago to last year to this year. When, yes, of course, you have some player differences, but for the most part, this is the exact same team that was playing at Arizona State as the Coyotes 2 years ago. Look at how different they are playing 2 years ago when they have the proper facilities, people that actually care about them, a place to call their own, an actual fandom. And this Utah Mammoth fandom has really just rallied behind this team. They've tried to become educated about the sport. They've tried to become educated about like the do's and don'ts. I've seen a lot in their Twitter feeds about like, okay, how do we support the Olympics? How do we support what is Four Nations? What is Worlds? What does any of this mean? Yeah. I think Utah has done a really great job of trying to support bringing this team there.
I think overall Seattle and Vegas have done a great job as cities to do the similar. Yeah. And like, obviously a lot of people don't like Vegas for various reasons, but the people who live there, like, they have done so much to try to learn the game and appreciate the team. And, they are a true fan base. They fucking nailed that one. And it certainly helps that fan base that Kelly McCrimmon is not scared to go out and make any move. Like they are the hidden team in for Quinn Hughes right now, because why the hell not? They're looking at it.
Well, they always find ways to make it work somehow, some way.
Yeah.
It's a little different when you talk about an AHL team moving versus an NHL team. I honestly feel like Bridgeport's more of a community because there isn't a million staff. Like I feel like everybody knows everybody. Also, most of these kids that work there are college kids. Yeah. So they won't be able to move with the team. Like they're just like they're out of their opportunity, unfortunately.
Just got an update from Jim McBride that Jonathan Aspero has not come out for the second period.
Oof.
So leave it to Boston to lose another defenseman. Didn't he get hurt the last game or the game before? He got banged up and
the game before, yeah.
Now you got McAvoy with the bubble.
Bo Horvat went down, hasn't returned, ankle injury, which is.
I saw that he was out for the rest of the game.
Not good.
I don't know what it is. Like it is league wide this year, but especially the Bruins. Just these injuries are crazy this year.
I
know you say especially the Bruins, but it's not especially the Bruins. It's literally everybody.
Yeah.
I think it's because the Olympic break, like now these games are getting packed so close together, so players have less time to, settle in. Players have less time to
They just don't have time to recover from games
and stuff like that. So
yeah.
The Bruins suffered it early because Owen Beck just got his first goal. Kenny.
Who?
Owen Beck just got his first goal.
What a name. I remember him last year. That Laval team absolutely dominated Providence. Like it was not even close. Logan Mailloux had 13 points in 4 games against Providence. Like it was the craziest thing I've ever seen. That was the first game that I ever covered with the media credentials. So Providence versus Laval. I'll never forget how.
Oh my God, that Jari should have had that one.
What are you watching?
I've got Montreal Pitt and Boston Winnipeg on the split screen.
people are saying that the Stadium Series jerseys look like Connecticut jerseys.
That's funny. Honestly, they're the same color as the jerseys that Pittsburgh's wearing tonight.
They are. Ooh, OEL headed straight to the room awkwardly behind the Leafs net.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
well, the Leafs are another one. They've been decimated by injuries as well. And Bruins have just ruled out Jonathan Aspero for the rest of this game.
I saw that.
I've got to say, I remember sitting on a live stream when that Fraser Minten trade happened, and there was a Toronto fan there, and there was a lot of Toronto fans on Twitter that were like, thank God we traded Fraser Minten and not Easton Cowan.
Oh my God, yeah.
Like, that is so stupid. I know for a fact the Bruins weren't like, let me get Easton Cowan. They were like, we want Fraser Minten.
They refused to do the deal if it wasn't Fraser Minten.
So the best post that I ever made, like the one that got the most views, I think it got like over 250K, was when Fraser Minten scored the hat trick against Springfield. And it was just all Bruins fans talking shit about how they got Fraser Minten. And it was all Maple Leafs fans crying about how they gave away Fraser Minten. I knew Fraser Minten was going to be nasty, but it really solidified that when Providence went up to Toronto and played the Marlies, and the whole broadcast was centered around Fraser Minten. Everybody said nice things about him. The coaching staff were like, I can't believe he's gone. Like the people in the building, like there were so many interviews that were just around Fraser Minten. I was like, there's so many, for a guy that's not there anymore. Like it's a little odd, especially in the AHL.
Yeah.
But he's been crazy. I honestly thought that they would benefit from having Matt Patra in the NHL as well, just because Minton's more of a defensive player and Patra's offensive. And coming into this year, I thought that the Bruins were going to struggle to score goals.
Oh, it looks like they're challenging Beck's goal.
That's why, most people are wrong 50% of the time. So I'm eating that 50% because clearly Alex.
I doubted him too. I said during training, was it training camp or preseason? One of the two. I was like, I don't see him making the roster. I see him hanging out in AHL. I think it'd be great for him in Providence. I don't know what it is about Providence the last 2 years, but their development of these players has been really great. Like, I think he could do great stuff in Providence. I think other people are making the Boston roster, though. I've been pleasantly surprised by Fraser Minten.
I knew he could make the roster. I just didn't think he would because he's one of the few guys who didn't require waivers.
Yeah.
That, I mean, I'm glad I was wrong because that means, and you're still seeing it now, Marco Sturm is literally picking the best players to play. The ones who are playing the best are getting the ice time. He doesn't give a flying fuck about waivers.
Nope.
Yeah, honestly, because it was difficult, especially how last season ended, because I thought Matt Patra was one of the best players in Providence, especially in the playoffs. But Fraser Minten was one of the best players too, so I guess it wasn't. But they both played different styles. Like Minten was great defensively, like he stood out defensively, which is much more difficult to do. And then Patra stood out offensively, and he was doing the things that people were kind of getting on him about. Like he's fighting through contact, making good passes, and he was scoring. Like he was the only one that was producing points. So I was like, oh, this is awesome. Like he's putting in the work. Dom was obviously like, I see him putting on weight. Like I see him working hard.
Yeah.
And it was just a tough situation because, and I said this, I don't know if I don't know where I said this. I may have said this on somebody's podcast, but I was like, I wish Patra would have scored, a few more of those. I mean, I wish Alex Steeves would have actually scored during the preseason because he did not score at all. And Matt Patra kept setting him up and he still couldn't score to save his life. And I was like, man, Alex Steeves scoring all these goals right now. Could have used those in preseason.
Might have helped Matthew Patra make
how a
team.
shorter preseason goes next year and 2 additional games. Like if we're talking about, this is already a struggle for these guys to settle in a little bit. The Bruins have also had one of the heavier schedules so far this year. We're like 2, 3, 4 games ahead of some of these teams, but it's going to be interesting to see how that reflects in like player care next year with a shorter preseason and 2 extra games.
Real quick, Horvat's already been ruled out for the rest of the game, and they overturned the Owen Beck goal, so it's still 3-0.
Tough. I honestly do not like a shorter preseason. I know the players want to just get to the season, but for me, I'm like, I love prospects and I love having those guys get a chance. I really enjoyed how the New York Islanders went about it. They let every single player, regardless of if you're an NHLer or not, play a preseason game. So even guys like Chris Terry, who's not even on an NHL contract, but was on an AHL contract, he got a game. Gleb Veremyev got a game. Like, and these guys are still 2-3 years out. Like, and it was cool to see that they got their opportunity. But I think that's going to come to an end if there's only going to be 4 games or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's I mean, some of those guys though, like, I'm sorry, Gleb Veremyev does not need a preseason game for the team to know he's not making the roster. So,
I know. Like, for me, as a prospect fan, I want to see these guys get their opportunity.
I think what you'll see is the preseason for the American Hockey League start sooner. I think you're going to start to see those cuts made earlier. So some of those guys, like for instance with Boston, there were guys that hung around, you know, like DiPietro, for instance. Kenny, how often we talk about him hanging around just because they wanted the extra body of a goalie, whereas, you know, going forward, they'll probably make that cut sooner because, let's face it, this team already knows what DiPietro is. He's a really good American Hockey League goalie who might be able to give you a couple spot starts in the National Hockey League.
Yeah.
Beyond that, he's just going to be too porous for so many different things.
Well, also the AHL preseason is a joke. It's literally 2 exhibition games with a ton of guys who might not even make the ECHL roster. Like, there was plenty of guys on Bridgeport and Hartford, because they played them twice, that didn't even make Worcester, like didn't even make Bloomington. So the AHL preseason is just a complete joke.
I think you'll start to see the AHL become a little bit more legitimate when it comes to their preseason. Actually,
have to.
Yeah, good question here, though. I want to know what you guys think. Do you think Patra gets a call-up or becomes a trade piece for the Bruins moving forward?
I already know my friends are going to hate me for this answer, but I don't see him. I think if you look at where he was at the beginning of last year and the end of last year, you can see the development that he had in Providence. You can see the growth. I don't think he's getting a call up anytime soon to the Boston Bruins, though. I also don't know that we would get rid of him come this trade deadline, though, unless like we are moving and shaking for playoffs and need to get.
So here's why you move him this year. His contract is over.
Everybody's contract is over this year. Gosh darn it.
A lot of the guys, like, I would give Dalton Bancroft another contract. I would give Matthew Patra his next contract because he's a restricted free agent. Like, most of the guys are restricted free agents. Yeah, I would be re-signing Brett Harrison right now.
You say re-signing Brett Harrison?
I would be. I'd be giving him another year.
I mean, I would too. There's no risk. There's no real problem.
The dude's more physical than Fabian Lysell.
Okay, well, that is tough. That is tough.
It's not tough to do because Fabian Lysell doesn't do it.
I don't know. I think
see both sides on this one.
I don't know.
I would also give let me be clear. I would also give Fabian Lysell his next year because he's only 22. You want to see if he can start to get it. It was a late turn for Brett Harrison. Maybe he's 22. There's still time for him to figure it out.
Chris, I don't know.
He can skate well enough.
I honestly think that if Fabian Lysell and Georgi Merkulov get sent down, that they should be put on waivers for contract termination. I don't need their toxic attitudes affecting the players down in Providence.
Oh, Kenny, thank you so much for mentioning that comment.
What?
We'll have to explain that one to you off the air.
Oh,
it's an inside joke. It's an inside joke. If
you take Merk away from me, I would cry.
Oh, he's not back next year. Sorry to break it to you. He's not coming back next year. Honestly, I don't think he'll ever touch the ice for the Boston Bruins ever again. Same thing with Matej Blumel. Yeah. I think they would be willing to move off of any of those guys if the right deal came along. Like, Merkulov, they're willing to move for just a late round pick. He's just not gonna amount to much. So if another team wants to take a flyer on him, you let them.
I think you move Patra.
I think you
say my answer. I think that you should move. I think they should move Patra. I was actually just doing a write up on Patra. There's so many. He's only. It's so difficult because he's not a great winger. You get the most out of him at center, so you can't move him. And since they have so many centers, and they have so many centers in the pipeline, Wilmore, Dean Letourneau, James Higgins, Chris Pelosi, like these guys are coming up, and there's just no room right now. So Patra kind of gets stuck in the middle. This is the time to move him, I'd say.
And you're likely going to keep Pavel Zacha.
Yeah.
Elias Lindholm is signed long term. So right now, you know, within the next 2 years, you're looking at a spine down the middle with Higgins, Lindholm, Zacha. And I mean, you could feasibly have Hustendinov down there long term. You could have Corrali down there for the. I mean,
you're not talking even about Fraser Minton, who's going to be down there.
Minton is down the middle.
Yeah.
Like it's, and then you mentioned Letourneau. Letourneau, I still think is at least 2 years away.
Oh,
well, some people are already saying, oh, he comes up with Higgins at the end of the season.
No.
Fuck no. Hell no. Send him back to BC for another season, and then the year after, he might get to the AHL.
Even Higgins, like I could see Higgins staying another year. I think, again, another player who's had some great growth.
I think he spends next year in Providence.
Yeah, which also might be good. Again, Providence is doing some magic down there. Whatever they've got going, they've got it going.
He wanted to sign for this year. The team basically was like, we like the energy, we love the desire, but we all know, and if you're honest with yourself, you know you should go back one more season.
There's also nowhere to put him right now. Like
top line center in Providence.
You move players to keep, James Higgins there. I'm also gonna say, like, I mean, Providence is winning, but are they developing players? I don't know. Right? I don't know. I think it would be
developing some. Some are just kind of hitting a stagnant plateau.
I think the guys that want to grow, you can see their growth when they're called up. I think you can see the guys that want it, that they are putting in the work in Providence, and it is paying off when they come back up. The guys that are not putting in the work, it is very evident that they're not doing something.
Well, who is in Providence that has developed and ended up making the Bruins?
So I think what you're seeing right now is live development and live growth within the players. So take Alex Steeves, for instance. Yes, he was close to making the roster out of camp, but he didn't. Yeah. All right. He went down and fixed the things that kept him from making the NHL roster. And now he has put himself in a position to not leave this NHL roster. All right. Another great example of that right now very well could be Victor Soderstrom. All right. And you know me, I was high on him coming into the season.
So was I.
And I really wouldn't be surprised if, obviously, he's not in the lineup tonight. Now, it's still 3-2 game, but defense has been okay in this one in front of Korpisalo. They've been okay. Now, obviously, you lose Aspero, that's going to hurt. That's going to send Soderstrom back in the lineup. So now you're right side tomorrow or on Sunday. If Aspero can't go, you're going to have McAvoy, who's on his way back from injury. You're going to have Soderstrom. Those are your two righties, and then you'll also have Andrew Peeke.
Well, all of that is getting away from my, initial thing. None of those players were really developed in Providence. Those players figured out their game in Providence. There's a difference, right? They went down and they figured out what they needed to do.
Not really. Figuring out your game and developing are very similar. Right now, they're working a lot of guys that they have in Providence too. All right. First of all, a lot of the guys that they have in Providence were always longer term projects.
Yes.
All right. Ty Gallagher, great example. All right.
I'm not talking about Ty Gallagher, right? I'm talking about the guys who have been there for 3 or 4 years.
I think let's look at last year. Let's look at Riley Tufte is always my favorite example. Riley Tufte was on the NHL roster when we started the season or like 2 games into the season.
Can I just point out, I gave him 4 names and he just decided to move the goalposts on all 4 of them.
I'm going to give a really great example. Riley Tufte and Max Jones both sucked, and they were on the NHL roster at the beginning of the year last year. They just could not make it happen. They both went down to the AHL. They both came back, I want to say December or January. You could see the difference. You could see they were connecting with the guys. They were making passes. They weren't just going out and fighting. I think Max Jones was only fighting for like the first 2 games in the NHL. You could see that there was a difference in their playing between the first time they were up and the second time they were up. That comes from Providence.
Matthew Poitras, the first time he went down, and then when he came back, we have seen a difference. Kenny, you have said those words to me. You can see a difference in him. Also,
I'm gonna say,
let me give you another name. Try arguing with me on this one. Frederic Brunet.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that these players have not developed. I'm saying that, Frederic Brunet has developed, right? He's gotten better, but I'm not going to start counting my chickens before they get to the NHL, right? And I'm talking,
Well, that's why they're in the American Hockey League, because they're not yet ready. You asked for examples. We gave you examples.
This is getting
away. The goalposts. Move those goalposts, Kenny.
This is getting away from
your question.
This is getting away from my initial argument that I don't consider Alex Steves, Matej Blumel, any of those guys who only played 5-10 games in Providence. I don't consider those guys developed in Providence. Right? Is that wrong?
But why? Because they haven't been there from the beginning, or?
Well, I would say that,
Okay, but I gave you other names. I gave Poitras. I given you Frederic Brunet.
But none of those guys have stuck at the NHL level. I'm not saying that they haven't been developing, and I'm not saying that they haven't gotten better. The thing is you could be a great American Hockey League player and then not make the NHL, right? So I am not going to say.
Myself.
Yeah, I'm not going to say, and Georgi Merkulov, I'm not going to say that these guys have worked out until
Michael DiPietro.
They play in the NHL, right? This is what Providence does. They make great AHL players, but they struggle at the next step.
Hold on.
But would you also argue that they're not being given a fair shot in the NHL? One, we currently don't have room for most of them, other than when our entire line is down bad. But there's also we've talked about it on our podcast that the coaches have said they're not actually. Sturm has not said it this year, but Monty kept saying last year he's not making decisions on who's going up or down. It was Sweeney who was making those decisions. So could you also potentially argue maybe that some of these guys also aren't being given a fair shot? They're playing favorites with some of these guys.
No, I don't
who
think.
Would be given, who I would ask who isn't getting a fair shot.
Well, I think most people would sit there and say DiPietro, Lysell, Merkulov wasn't given a fair shot.
I can't. So, I was one of those people that were like, Merkulov wasn't getting a fair shot at the end of the year.
He was, though.
Yeah. Well, when you look at the whole season, right, and Chris, you were the one that pointed this out to me, right? The plan was probably that he was going to come up for the last 10 games. He was just injured, right? So they kept checking in throughout the season, and it's nobody's fault that he was injured at the end of the year, but he wasn't going to play injured, right? Fabian Lysell, he got his opportunity. And he's playing in Providence, and he hasn't really earned another call-up in my eyes, right? And I guess Chris's eyes as well.
Who, Lysell?
Yeah, Lysell he just hasn't earned it. So there isn't a ton of players that haven't been, given the opportunity like they should have. But
right, but you're asking for players who have. So I've broken this down before. You have basically 3 waves of players at all times. You have your current NHL roster. Your core guys. That's where your Pastrnak, McAvoy, Swayman. In this case, now you've got Zadorov, Elias Lindholm, Hampus Lindholm, the core guys. Mm-hmm. All right. Then you've got your fringe guys that you're trying to bring in, and that's where Sean Corrali fits right now. Right now, Hustarinov is still in that category. He's just a very popular player in that category. You then also have your American Hockey League players of now, the guys who can come up, who can help spell for an injury, i.e., right now in that category fits Tufty, Vielle, Steves still fits in that category. Soderstrom is showing to be part of that category. Patrick Brown is in that category. For the longest time, the last 3-4 years, Patrick Brown was pretty much the only guy you had in that category.
Yeah.
And that's why we kept seeing him come up and go down. Now, then you also have your future core guys. That's what people are hoping. Hagens, Letourneau, some people would probably try to throw Frederic Brunet in there. Like, that's the next group. Now, you use the current AHL guys to get pieces to help with your current NHL roster. So you take a player like Matthew Poitras. You just need to figure out, is he a future core guy or is he a current AHL guy who you move in a deal and let him be another team's future?
Can I ask you, do you give Ryan Muginel a pat on the back because of what Alex Steves is doing right now? Do you say, hey, you did a great job while he was in Providence? Now,
I give him kudos for doing it, but I'm not sitting here going, this is a reason why Muginel should be an NHL head coach.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, I'm not giving Muginel a pat on the back for developing Alex Steves for 5 games and now he's playing well in the NHL.
No, what you give him credit for is working with the player to perfect or to improve upon the deficiencies in his game that kept him from the NHL. Otherwise, if he was an NHLer at the beginning of the season, he would have made the National Hockey League roster. Yeah. All right? He had enough deficiencies that not only did he go to the American Hockey League, he went through waivers. So 31 other teams said, we agree with Boston's decision. He needs to go to the American Hockey League. And now what Muginel has done is made it so that the next time he comes up, 31 other teams are going to see his name on the waiver wire, and about 15 of them are going to go, fuck no, he ain't going back to Providence. He's coming here.
Can you do that in a 5-game sample size? Is that,
Well, he just did.
I don't. So the thing is like, I'm not watching. I don't know what Steves needed to work on, and I don't know if he was doing it in Providence. But I know
some of that's going to come from the fact that you and I are not at every single practice either.
Well, all I'm saying is, right, like, it could have just been the opportunity. He could have just taken an opportunity and ran with it. I'm saying, I'm not
Hampus makes it 4-2.
Yeah, if Fabian Lysell comes up and dominates, I'll be like, okay, cool. The Bruins did a fantastic job developing him. Right. But Alex Steves, he wasn't really developed in.
But here's the thing. It's not
how
just
would you
on
say
the
he
team.
Developed? If your argument that it wasn't is that it wasn't in Providence, what is the development that how did that occur then?
From the teams that he's been previously playing for,
But Providence was part of that.
Yeah.
5 games.
Providence just happened to fine tune and fix the missing piece.
Like I said, well, we don't know that, right? Because we're not there. We don't know if anything happened. It could have just been he got called up and he's making the most of an opportunity, or he's really
okay. So then the other names that were mentioned, how do you use that same argument with the other players that were mentioned?
Here's my counter to
argument I'm using that on is Steves. Everybody
hold on. Here's my counter to that, Kenny. Here's my counter to that, because he was in Toronto last year, all right, and Toronto had injuries last year. Why didn't he get an opportunity there? What was missing that Toronto, with injuries, said, you're not yet ready? Whatever it was, whether it's once he signed from Toronto into Boston, from the start of training camp to when he got called up, the entire Bruins organization, whether it was specifically Muginel or maybe it was something that Sturm said to him in camp, maybe it was something that freaking Chris Kelly said to him in camp. We don't know who the coach was, but someone on the Bruins coaching staff said something to him that clicked, that helped him elevate his game. So when the opportunity came, he was ready.
Again, we have no idea. I have no idea.
But you just asked, can it happen in 5 games? Well, clearly it can, because for him, it did.
But we don't know that it did. We have no idea what was said to him. We have no idea if he even went to Providence and worked on it. He could have just been given an opportunity. He was a fringe NHLer already. I'm not crediting Providence for making this guy an NHLer. He was already a fringe NHLer when he got here.
if he was fringe and he's no longer fringe NHLer, he is a full-time NHL player, is that not an upgrade in the player's ability?
Is it development? I don't like.
How
does
he get from one to the other without developing, though?
I know, and I'm just saying, is it Providence's, like, are we crediting?
Are you basically saying, did he just put on an extra 10 pounds and now he's more useful?
No, I'm saying, like, are we crediting Providence? Like, oh yes, Providence is great at developing players. Look at Alex Steves.
I'm not saying because of Alex Steves, Providence.
I'm saying a bunch of other guys.
Well, I'm talking about Alex Steves.
I'm not saying because of Alex Steves.
I'm not crediting them with the fringe guys who are like now playing well. Like, you know, Riley.
What I'm saying is I'm not saying because of Alex Steves, the Boston Bruins organization, the Providence Bruins are good at developing players. That's not what we are saying. We are saying they are good enough at developing players because they have been able to find players like Alex Steves to find the missing piece. They've been able to find a player like Frederic Brunet, who basically took 2 years off of his development in 1 year last year, and is now showing what he can do in the American Hockey League. We're talking about, they're taking, like, Dalton Bancroft has taken massive steps in his game also in the last year and a half. Matthew Poitras, yes, he made the National Hockey League roster 3 years ago at the age of 18. His game is better today than it was when he made the NHL roster at 18. All right. Now, he's someone that you could say maybe he's not getting a full opportunity to show it at the NHL level, but he is a true center. All right. Like you just said, he plays better at center than he does at wing. So you're not going to call him up to put him on the wing. That's not his fault. That's not Providence's fault. He is still a better player today because he's played in Providence. And that has nothing to do with any other organization that he played for. All right. Fabian Lysell, what?
No, I'm thinking about, I'm on the same page as you. I think I'm just wording this horribly. I honestly think that I need to figure out how to say, like, I don't know.
Let me ask you this. How are you defining the phrase development?
Yeah.
You know, players playing, like, I'm not saying, when I'm saying development, like, I'm talking about these guys taking guys out of college, right? And I know, I guess development isn't necessarily this, or like taking guys out of juniors and getting them from that point to the NHL, which they really haven't been able to do. So when I look at a guy like Alex Steves or Matej Blumel or any of those other guys, right? Like, I don't consider them, like, Providence did a majority of the work.
Then let me ask you this. Who developed Urho Vakanainen? He's in the NHL right now. Boston drafted him.
Yeah.
Well, who developed him?
He
did some development in Boston. He did some development in Anaheim, and then he did some developing in New York.
Do you count? I mean, you can count them, but, like, if they're not playing for your club, then.
But I think that's the point that we're asking you, is you're saying, like, it's like Providence can't claim Steves because it didn't all happen here. Okay, but then can't Providence count the people that we've drafted that have since moved on because we started it for them?
Right, like Vakanainen, great example. He was in Providence for 2-3 years before they shipped him out. So was he an NHL player when he left Boston? I don't think so. He got some NHL time, but that was also part of his development process. Then you ship him to Anaheim. You brought in Hampus Lindholm. Great deal for Boston. He spends some time in Anaheim, gets some more development, but without that development period, which I think he was there for 2, maybe 3 years, without those few seasons in Anaheim, he could not be in the NHL right now with New York, because those 2 years or 3 years were built on the foundation of what he started in Providence. So if you want to say that, Matej Blumel's foundation started in Dallas, I agree with you 100%. But Providence put the roof on. You know what I mean? Like, or Steves as a better example. Boston finished building the roof. You don't have a house if you don't have a roof.
Yeah, but I think that's also part of, like, hockey as, like, a holistic sport too, is, like, some of these guys that have been on multiple teams, one team can't claim them. However, you can have teams that have contributed and have, to Chris's point, like, found that missing piece that made Steves who he is right now, currently contributing to the team.
And like, I would make the case that Brandon Bussey, right? He spent most of his entire AHL career in Providence. All right. He spent one season with the Charlotte Checkers, and then he was supposed to get put on waivers. He was on waivers.
He didn't play any
not Charlotte.
With the Charlotte Checkers.
What's that?
Panthers.
He didn't play any season with Charlotte.
No,
with the Panthers for like a month, and then got picked up on waivers by Kane.
That's what it was.
Yep.
And then I don't know why I was thinking that Charlotte Checkers.
Don't worry, I'm here to keep it straight on this one. Don't worry, friend.
But point being, even Florida looked at him and said, "There's still work to do here. Let's send him down to the American Hockey League." A different team, Carolina, went, "We're screwed in goal. We need a body. There's someone on the waiver wire who looks halfway decent. Let's see what he can do." And they lucky fucked their way into a 9-1 goaltender.
10-1. I think he had a great save earlier. They might have just won.
I would consider Brandon Bussey. I get what you're saying. I would consider Brandon Bussey.
But he did learn stuff, and he did some development in Florida because he worked with their coaches. So he's not this same goaltender for Carolina if he doesn't spend 3 months in Florida working with those coaches.
Yeah.
Now, am I going to sit here and say, does that mean Florida is great at developing goaltenders and DPH or Bussey's my example of that? Well, no, I'm going to sit there and say, look what they did to turn around the career for Sergei Bobrovsky. Look what they're doing right now with what's his name, the new backup that they got from Columbus, Danil Tarasov. Look what they did with Spencer Knight when he was down there. And then I go, oh, and by the way, they contributed to Brandon Bussey. These 4 guys all prove they can work with goaltending.
Yeah, so I think you have to look at it like as a whole picture. I'm not looking at one player to say Providence is good at developing. I'm looking at the 5, 6, 7, 8 players that I have seen growth in over the last year.
And look who they're developing. Providence has been forced to develop 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round draft picks.
Yeah.
Like
for years.
Like what? They're going to take longer. They have a lot more work to go.
Well, I mean, they do have some, like
some second and third rounders.
And Lysell and Brett Harrison. Like they have, decent players. I'm just saying. So I would say that the Bruins are good. You would say the Bruins are good at developing players that are, on the cusp of making the NHL. I'm more looking at players that.
What I'm saying is they are good at identifying. They are significantly better at identifying players who have NHL potential than fans want to give them credit for.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to look in Providence specifically, look at their entire NCAA pipeline.
Yeah.
I am not denying that at all. I think they did a fantastic job, especially last trade deadline, where they identified players who were not getting enough playing time and they traded for them and then gave them playing time here, like Marat Husnudinov, right? So, I'm not saying that at all.
Oh, I'm not saying they developed Husnudinov either, but they're trying to do it right now at the NHL level.
I'm not saying that they're great at doing that. I'm just saying more towards, and I think that they're good at getting those cusp players to the NHL as well. I'm more focused on the players that are starting in Providence, coming from juniors or college, and then making the NHL, which their track record isn't great, but I guess you're also right. Like they haven't had incredible players to work with. Like I'm sure if James Higgins went down there, right, he's going to make the NHL. I don't know how good he's going to be.
Maybe 15 years ago, you have a heavy handful of names that you could name there.
Mm-hmm.
But we also haven't had those first.
By the way, who was leading the department who was leading the Department of Player Development 15, 20 years ago?
Different people. This is a new staff.
Don Sweeney.
Don Sweeney was.
He was?
Yes. He was the director of
20 years ago, Chris. So I can't tell you.
I said 15.
A great point that I honestly have not considered until right now is that it was Sweeney.
So I think I've gone over this with Kenny. If you actually look back, I wrote something about Don Sweeney's career with the Bruins and why people are way underestimating him as a general manager, because when he was first brought in to the organization, he was not part of drafting. He was not part of player development. He was he came in and then he became basically like he got involved in player development, and then he became the director of that department. And under his leadership in that department, that's when you got Brad Marchand. That's when you got Patrice Bergeron.
Bergeron, yeah.
That's like I think it was
Pasta, Tuukka Rask. They're all that.
I want to say he started in that role. It was in the 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
And I think his first wave of players was he took over the role the year after they drafted Bergeron.
Sure, that would make sense.
And so basically you got Milan Lucic in that group. You had David Krejci in that group. Ugh. And he was a part of that entire development process.
I forgot he was in that.
Real quick, Kenny, Trevor Kuntar out for his rookie lap right now.
Wow. Aww. I guess what is it? What's the saying? Broken clock is right
twice a
day.
So
blind squirrel.
Well, unless it's digital, and it says PM or AM on it. But so if you look at that, then in 2015 he became the GM, and he redid the entire scouting department in 3 years. So were there problems in those first few years?
Carolina's in a shootout right now.
Oh, damn. Was it Bussy tonight who went for him? Yes, it was. Yes, there were problems in those first few seasons. Absolutely. There's no denying that at all. Like I will sit here as much as I'm defending the guy and say there were some mistakes in those first few seasons. There were also still some hits. So as long as the hits and the misses are at least at a 500 record apiece, you take that, especially if you're flipping over your entire scouting staff while doing that. And that's when you started to see the drafting of guys like Mason Lohrei, Matthew Poitras, Brandon Carlo was, I think, he was lucky. You got lucky there. Let's call it what it is.
Yeah. I was laughing at Baz, not you, but yes, that too.
Yeah, the Bussy started on his fantasy team.
Yeah.
Well, I had an open spot on one of my teams, so I picked up Jacob Fowler for tonight.
I constantly forget.
And he's up 4-1.
Constantly forget that I have 2 fantasy teams. I never remember. It is like a huge joke in our group chat that when people play against me that they're going to win for that week, because I never remember I have a fantasy team ever. Liz and I are against each other this week. No idea what's happening in it.
I mean, I have 6.
I never remember that I'm doing fantasy.
And that's just hockey. That's just hockey. I had 3 football ones too.
I have 0.
Oh, sorry. Wait, no, I have 8 because I have 2 in ESPN. Shit, I got to check those.
Okay, well, if you're a fantasy player, shameless plug, go to DobberProspects.com. Check out, a few people on there,
You want to hear the dumbest thing about living in Florida?
Oh, God.
We don't have gambling besides Hard Rock.
That's terrible.
Even some fantasy things are outlawed in Florida. But there's only Hard Rock gambling here.
Terrible. I'm too poor to gamble. I'm also only 19, so I guess it doesn't really affect me.
Depends what state you're in.
I am in Connecticut. I'm 19, and I have $3 to my bank account. So
I feel that at 31 even, though. Canes win.
Yeah, I forget who they were playing, but I'm not surprised. I remember looking at that matchup going...
Capitals.
Yeah, Washington has been up and down lately, so I'm not overly surprised, but I'm glad I'm not necessarily glad, but the fact that they got a point out of the game is not that unsurprising.
Vegas Golden Knights just won in overtime against Philly.
And they went with Akira Schmid tonight in goal. Well, it's funny because I saw people giving the organization shit for not going with Carter Hart, but if you look at the last few starts, it was about time that Schmidt got another start. So
and they have increased security around him, I guess.
Oh yeah, that I'm not surprised about. Unfortunately, he's improving with every game he plays, so they have no need to rush back.
Games, so
I watched that first game with you, Chris. I was like, oh my God, Carter Hart looks terrible, which was my initial reaction when he was signed, I was like, wow, I can't believe anybody's taking a chance on somebody who hasn't played hockey in 2 years. I also thought Carter Hart was grossly overrated in Philadelphia. So,
well, if you want to know about someone who's going to play for the first time in 2 years on a good note, watch Chicago. The next couple of weeks, they got Laurent Brossoit coming back.
Really?
He's coming back from a hip and knee surgery. So Brossoit is probably someone that Edmonton has an eye on, because Chicago has already secured their starting spot with Spencer Knight, and they also have Arvid Soderblom. His development has gone completely off the rails, not nearly as bad as DiPietro's did, that because of the COVID year in Vancouver, but he just got called up way too soon, got thrown into the action way too soon, and obviously on a really bad team. So his development has gone to shit. But he's still young enough that they can kind of revive that. So one of them's going to have to hit the waiver wire, and it sure as hell ain't going to be Spencer Knight.
Do you want to hear a fun Brandon Bussey fact that was just tweeted out?
Oh, God. Something about 10 wins?
He's the first goalie in NHL history to win 10 of his first 11 appearances.
How many shots did he face tonight?
Let me check.
Thank God I'm like half Bruins Twitter, half Islanders Twitter, so I don't have to see all the Brandon Bussey and Kuntar and
one of my friends is a team reporter for the Canes, so it shows up all the time. Let's see.
I don't care that like people post about it. I care about like the Bruins fans that are like, oh my gosh, the Bruins are so stupid. How did they let Brandon Bussey leave? He shouldn't be in the NHL. Like, okay.
He was never getting called up.
No.
Okay. So in his 10 starts, this was coming into tonight.
2 goals.
23.
Crazy.
So here's the thing. In his 10 starts, he has faced 230 shots. So they're averaging about 23 shots against him per game.
Yeah. I think that's what you said in our comments on Monday.
So for him to have a goals against average of just over 2, like, let's not forget the team that's in front of him. Carolina can score.
Yeah.
So he's in a position to win. And, I mean, think about it this way. Freddie Anderson he's not the best example. Kochetkov, before he got hurt, he was 4-1. So the same team that's made Peter Kochetkov 4-1 has now made Brandon Bussey 10-1. Is it the goaltending, or is it the team in front of him? Because Frederik Andersen has not been good for 3 years.
Yeah.
I love Bruins Twitter so much because people were just so pissed off that they didn't trade Jonas Korpisalo because they wanted Michael DiPietro to come up. And then now that Brandon Bussey's playing well, they're like, I always wanted Brandon Bussey up. I always thought he was nasty. Like, bro, you never said anything about
I was a DiPietro Corpy tweeter. I was one of those people, but I was not a Bussey person.
I saw so many people
because of one save. One preseason save made people go, that's our guy.
Well, hey, listen, Zajac made a very nice save in preseason.
I know, and all of a sudden he became people's guy.
I haven't seen any of that, honestly. And that might just be because I'm not solely
You're not
on
watching Providence enough. Yeah, you're not watching Providence enough. Like, Zajac has great side-to-side mobility, great athleticism. Honestly, I think he's got a higher ceiling than DiPietro.
He's nasty, and it took him all of 10 minutes to adjust to the North American game in the AHL.
Yeah.
Incredibly impressive. He's top 5 goalie in the AHL right now. And funny enough, there are 2 goalies in the top 5 right now, statistically.
Baz, is the Corpy jersey with Columbus? Because that I wouldn't blame you for.
That's funny.
A Korpisalo Bruins jersey is, I have respect. I have respect for that. Like,
will
that
never
is
be me. Never.
I want to also, Kenny, you've heard me say this, and I want to be very clear. Saying Korpisalo is a good NHL backup does not mean he should be starting for anybody. It does not mean he's otherworldly. I'm not putting him in a class with Patrick Waugh or Carey Price or Marty Bird. No, I'm saying he is a serviceable number 2 who can get you 35 starts.
Yeah, that's fair. I still don't want him.
I think you can do better. I really do. And quite frankly, with what I've seen from Zazacek, he will put up a fight next preseason. He will.
Yeah.
If you can get him re-signed, and I would give him another contract.
Oh, do you remember what we said? I think I was joking with you. I was like, "Oh, Michael DiPietro will get called up. Maybe he'll play like Jonas Korpisalo. Like that's his ceiling, right? Is playing like a serviceable backup like Jonas Korpisalo.
That's his peak.
Yeah, you're like, let's get rid of Korpisalo and hope Michael DiPietro becomes Jonas Korpisalo.
Yeah, well, let's do that.
Well, also if we never mind, I won't go there.
No, go there. Well, we go there.
It's kind of dumb, but like, if we need cap space, come playoffs, trade Corpy, bring DiPietro up.
So
you can still get there to
your cap space in the playoffs is based off of who you dress for the night. So you can still bring DiPietro up. Like if you have a roster that you want to put on a playoff bench and you're a few $100,000 shy, you don't dress Korpisalo. You can dress DiPietro as your backup and you're fine because there's no roster limit.
Because there's no roster limit. Yep, that's a good point.
Right. So, because let's face it, if Swayman gets injured mid-game and you're going from him to Korpisalo, you're probably losing that game anyway.
Yeah.
Your better chance of winning is if you have a better team in front. You might be up in that game and have some wiggle room to give up a goal or two with whoever your backup is. So, like, there's a lot of other ways to do it. It's definitely going to be interesting with a salary cap in the playoffs now.
Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts about the new CBA.
I'm just surprised the players didn't fight for more. That's my main thought. They fought to be able to wear comfortable clothes, which, like, okay, fine. But if that's your biggest gripe, then you really can't complain when the Olympic rink is 3 feet short. You can't complain. You said, we want to go. So they said, okay. You said, we want comfy clothes. And they went, okay. And then for some reason, some dumbass GM went, we want no double retention in a trade. And the players went, okay.
Like, have any players been complaining about the ice? I saw Nathan McKinnon was like, I don't care.
I don't know that they're really allowed to comment on it that much yet.
I think they'll be asked about it when they get there.
Yeah.
And most of them have enough media training sense to be like, I'm not going to bitch about ice that's I'm not playing on right now.
Yeah.
Let me get there and let the ice be a problem for me to go, this ice is terrible. Like,
yeah,
I think people are making a bigger deal of it.
Them until break. I also don't know that they're allowed to comment on any of that until they've like also officially been named to the team. Like even the 6 that were originally named to the team don't necessarily have to be named to the team. Like if Matt Tkachuk doesn't come back, he's not getting any payment from the Olympics.
Yeah. Do you even get paid? I think it's just if you medal.
I think you get paid if you medal, and the payment comes from the IIHF.
Yeah, you get sponsorships though during that. They get paid off the sponsorships.
Yeah. Good. But my guy Damian Clare will be making some bread. He needs it. I love him.
He's going to be a surprise to a lot of people. There's some young players for nations that are going to stand out. Like I think some people are finally see Don Zlachmelis and be like, "Oh fuck, this kid can play."
Well, where were they during the World Championships last year? Also,
people around here don't watch it.
People don't watch it.
People don't watch the World Championships?
Do you know how many people don't even know it exists?
They're still watching the playoffs, hun. They've still got 8 teams playing.
That too.
Okay, maybe I'm just like so far because like I'm used to like
you are a hockey fan most people that are hockey fans are NHL fans. There's a difference.
Well, that or they are a team fan.
Yeah.
Do you realize how many people like don't even know Matt Tkachuk was injured for this season?
Yeah.
Like because it didn't happen in their hockey bubble. And so they learned about it when the Bruins played Florida and they went, "Oh, Tkachuk's not in the line. Oh, Barkov's out.
Yeah.
We got a shot at winning this one. I hear they're good."
I cannot believe people like did not know that there's no world, like the world championships. Like, that's huge.
I didn't know about Worlds until I was maybe 25.
Well, when did you start?
Well, it also doesn't help that a bunch of those games
since you were younger.
So I grew up with my brother playing, but we played local travel. And then I went to a D3 school. So I didn't like hit hockey hardcore until I was maybe 23, 24, 25. And that's when I found out about World. I started like branching out from other teams off of the Bruins.
Yeah. Well, also keep in mind, Kenny, let me educate you on one thing here real quick. And Emily, you might remember this. Do you remember the network Versus?
Yes.
No.
I rest my case. Kenny, hockey, you used to have to dig. I didn't watch hockey for the longest time because you couldn't fucking find it.
You couldn't find it. It would be on like USA Today or whatever that channel was, USA Network or whatever. And it would be like the most random ass teams. You also didn't have streaming. You had whatever was available at the time. So
okay, well, I'm not that young. I have been in a world where there was no streaming. Let
me put it this way, Kenny. Sometimes the only way that you knew a hockey game was played between two teams was because a play showed up in SportsCenter's top 10.
Yep. Or it was in the news. Like
or
it was
on
in the physical paper.
Game.
Or you had to be deep in hockey Twitter. Also, like hockey Twitter didn't really exist that much back then.
Twitter didn't exist.
Yeah. Like even when it originally came out. So how I think of Twitter now is most people that use it, from what I see, or maybe it's because that's what my feed is, most people that use Twitter are sports related for the most part. But that is not originally what this app was. I think like that has come since you've been able to have a higher text character limit.
That and I think the app itself has grown in popularity with the concept of trolling people.
Yeah.
And so because of that, people have joined the app for various reasons. And a lot of people, I truly believe a lot of people have multiple accounts, one where they can go in and be a troll and one that they are publicly themselves.
Yeah.
And then actually have legitimate comments and whatnot.
So what's your fake profile name?
I already run 3. I don't got enough time for that shit.
I know. I don't have enough of my own.
Chris just talks shit on his normal one. You could go through and see it. He doesn't need a burner.
Oh, I've been on the opposite end of his tweets sometimes. I'm aware, friend.
Yeah, he doesn't care. He doesn't need a burner. He uses the Chris Nosek account to talk shit. So
that's funny.
I just don't argue with people. I argue
most of the time. I'm not trying to talk shit. I'm trying to sit there and be like, no, there's something you don't realize.
Yeah.
Or you're not deep enough to, yeah, exactly, Baz. I don't have enough time for my main account, let alone a burner account.
Chris says this, but he'll argue with people for hours, and then he'll update me every tweet. Like he'll text it to me. He'll text me a link.
Okay, hold on. Certain people, when they get dug into an opinion, certain people who claim to be educated on stuff and then blatantly show their ignorance to try and make a point that is outright false.
Are you referencing one person?
He's referencing a ton of people.
No, I'm referencing a few people, and some of them I can't.
Yeah.
I can't be a wise ass to them because I can't respond to them.
Yeah.
Oh.
You probably remember my comment from your last show.
Yeah.
I made a mention of one of them.
Okay, all right. I was like, huh, are we thinking about the same person right now?
There's a lot of people associated with that particular account where I sit there and I go, you really don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Well,
That's so funny.
Hey, listen.
I don't have any beef with anybody yet. I don't have that way, but I do know what you're talking about.
I don't have beef. I sit there and I go, look, if you want to have conversation, that's fine. And I'll give you a hint. Remember Kenny's comment earlier about dropping Lysell and Merkulov because of their attitude in Providence?
Yes.
Same source.
Okay.
That was his comment. And he commented it on one of his own videos.
Live streams.
Kenny, can you send that screenshot to me?
Yes.
Via
I
text?
send it to you all the time.
I know. I just don't know where it is.
Thing ever.
I will send it. I will send it to you. Victor Arvidsson will not return to tonight's game.
Didn't we already say that?
No, Arvidsson. Before it was Aspero. All right, that's it. Call it Fabian Lysell.
What did I miss?
I will say I don't hate anybody, but I'm sure there's people that hate me. Like
I have tons of people that hate me. They send me death threats every single day. I'm also a girl on hockey Twitter, so it's just.
But here, I have yet to get a death threat. I'm not sitting here saying send me death threats. I just haven't gotten one.
Don't worry, I'll send you one. I got you.
I get them just for being a girl on hockey Twitter.
That's the sad.
Just that alone gets me death threats. Then I'm an opinionated girl on hockey Twitter, and you would think that I walked into a room full of puppies and kicked them all. Like,
I mean, I pretty much do that to some people's opinion. Like, I'm sorry, but when
that come into my DMs, sometimes I'm like,
when you live on highlights and you don't watch a player or an entire team, for instance, if you live off of Fabian Lysell's highlights, I fully expect you to have the opinion that he should be in the National Hockey League right now.
So
if you ever watch him in Providence, you will sit there and go, oh, he's trying here and he's not here. I want that all the time before I put him in Providence, or before I pull him up from Providence.
Right. And this was something that I told Chris the other day. I commented on one of these people that only post Lysell clips, and I was like, Lysell had a terrible, awful game. He was the worst player on the ice, and he got benched in the third period. And yet you're posting the 2 clips where he's joining the rush, makes a routine play, and you're claiming that this is the best that he's like. You're claiming that this is awesome and he should be in the NHL. And then the guy was like, "Why are you getting personal?" Thanks, bro. You're a real one. I will say, I got a death threat. I mean, I guess not a death threat. They wanted me to kill myself.
Oh,
so I don't know. But so it was an article where I was like, is it time for the Bruins to trade Matthew Patra? In the article, I said no. I think that they should keep him. Some guy was like, the Bruins aren't trading Matthew Patra. Kill yourself. Something along the lines of that. And I was like, that's what I said. Thanks for reading the article. I also have people say
that would be me. I'd be like, thanks for the click, bro.
Well, that's what I say. I say to people all the time. But I also had people that were like, do you even watch the games, bro? Patra's been great. And I'm like, wow. Okay, you're asking me if I watch the games, but you didn't even click on the article. Thank you for your time and your comments and whatever. Like, just
that's why I can't listen to Boston Sports Radio.
I haven't received a death threat from an Islanders fan yet, which is great.
In fairness, you're watching Bridgeport and like 30 people go to the game.
Yeah, but a lot of people are interested in the player development. So not necessarily. So Islanders fans are interested. Just they don't care.
Player development is now going to be a trigger word for me. Just so you know.
I think I botched that argument really badly.
I think you did, buddy. I think you did
pretty badly.
Did you end up sending me that screenshot?
No, I didn't. I'll do it right now. I'm not gonna lie. I was in that argument and I was losing focus so much. I was trying to read things and I completely forgot what we were arguing about.
You're so.
But I also couldn't be wrong, so I was like, we're here, so I'm gonna argue.
I think you got really stuck on one point versus the bigger picture, but it's okay.
I will say, still not my best argument on a live. My buddy Dylan and I, we used to do the show. This was probably, this argument I think occurred during COVID, so 2020. The point I made, this was after Tampa won their back-to-back cups, and I said that Tampa still would have won those cups if they had Connor Hellebuck in their net instead of Andrei Vasilevsky, but Winnipeg would not have been as good as they were with Vasilevsky in their net versus Connor Hellebuck. Now, obviously, we have 5.5 more years worth of data at this point, but the two of them at their peak, if you look, or I wouldn't even say necessarily at their peak, but if you look at them through 2020, right? If you put Connor Hellebuck in Tampa, they still win those cups.
Can I read this? I have.
Are you reading the comment?
I've had these on my phone. I sent you both of them. I've had these on my phone because this was just funny. This was going on for like 20 minutes. Their value is slim to none. Lysell is waiver exempt. I know waivers are for waivers for contract termination. Why would they put Lysell on waivers if he's not eligible for contract termination? Why do that and not trade him or just keep him in Providence when they don't need to move him? Players go on waivers for the purpose of contract termination all the time. He has no value. So that is probably the funniest argument that I've ever seen. I cannot believe more people weren't like, wow, I'm never listening to this again.
This is also coming from someone who can go to these games, sometimes goes to the games, claims that they have a lot more knowledge, and I've seen make worse arguments for lesser things.
I'll never forget what Dom said with the Jacob Lauko thing.
Which thing?
Do you remember?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know which thing. Do you know how many stories Dom has told me over the years?
I know. We got to have him on again to tell stories.
I can't keep up with him like one day on Twitter. I can't imagine a conversation with him.
I used to do my show with him. One of my shows.
Oh my gosh. I feel like that'd be so much. Ooh.
Oh no, it's great. We would recap literally all of the prospects every week. Actually, I ended up doing 2 shows with him, one on Sunday, one on Monday. That's why I'm saying, like, for the last 2.5 years, Dom and I have been talking about all of these prospects.
Yeah.
A year and a half, telling people to relax on Dean Letourneau. And I could find the episode for you. I can't tell you how many times in a 3-week span towards the end of the season last year for BC where we're sitting there going, chill out. He's got 3 points in whatever it was, 36 games. Wait till next year. See where he's at next year. Dom's model predicted him for only 18 points this year.
His growth has been he also like the system he was in was so different and was not preparing him for what is to come.
What do you mean? Are you talking about the USHL?
Yikes.
Did he go to a Canadian college for like a year?
He went to came out. He went to BC straight from Canadian high school prep. He wasn't even in college.
Oh. When
he was supposed to spend last season in the USHL. But because Will Smith signed with San Jose, a spot on the roster opened up and he took it. So he was a year over and advanced in his development.
So basically this should be his freshman year.
Yes.
Yeah. And like I said, Dom's model had him at, I think, 18 points for this year. And he's on track to blow that away.
Remember when I told you a broken clock is right twice a day? I still bring up that Jake Schmaltz take.
Oh, that one.
All the time. I don't ever bring it up to Dom because he would wax me. Like, his hockey knowledge is obviously superior, but it's nice to have, have the scoreboard in my favor a little bit. That argument was funny, and then I was also like, Jake Schmaltz is a good player.
I'm reading.
You're reading what I sent you?
Oh, did you send it over?
I just sent all 3 of them.
That's not how that works.
That's why I said we would have more for you off the air on that one.
That's not okay.
I'll just clap back at him on the one I just sent you.
We have.
You thought Geeky was good on Twitter? Lauko started it.
Oh, I just sent Chris that too.
Yeah, I sent her that one.
Oh, so great. We have stories. We have some stories. Like, this is not a. Yeah.
You will completely understand my EU comment last time later on.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it's funny unless like you're affiliated, you know. Then it's like, what the fuck?
It's funny until you go, oh, wait, they're supposed to be professionals.
Self-proclaimed.
I'm dying. Like I'm still on the first one, you guys. Like I'm just trying to wrap my brain around this because like
yeah, it's the dumbest thing
that
you've ever
works.
seen.
Okay,
yeah,
anyway.
It's the dumbest thing that you've ever seen. I know. That's why
I don't even know which one I sent you first.
The one. Yeah.
The contract termination one. Yep.
Meanwhile, while all this was going on, Dom and I were having like a full-on conversation in the comments. I don't think we were at that time that I was taking the pictures, but like while that argument was continuing to go on, we were just talking. So I remember, I don't know what he said. He said something about Blenar. Also, I mean, Dom crushed that. Like he had that like 3 weeks early.
Yeah, on my show with Gail, he fucking sends a comment that Blenar is refusing to sign a KHL contract so he can come to the NCAA. Yeah. Or sorry, SHL. Well, no, I think it would have been like the equivalent of a two-way. And he was refusing to sign a professional contract, basically, because he wanted to come to the NCAA the next year. And then 2 weeks later, someone else picked it up, and they were like, "Blenar's coming to the NCAA." And then 2 days later, he was making his announcement, and he made it at like, I don't know, like 9 o'clock in the morning. And like the first person who saw the tweet rewrote the tweet and they got all the credit for breaking it. And I'm like, that's not, I think I literally sent it to Kenny the first or third time I saw it. And I was like, this isn't news to us.
Yeah.
Dom had this 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I was tagged in it.
I think you were, yeah.
I was tagged in it. And, he was just saying, so like Dom was like, this is what's going to happen. So
I don't think he was trying to take credit from Dom. I really don't think so.
No, I know for a fact I know for a fact he didn't get it from Dom.
Right. But what I'm saying is I don't think he was trying to take credit for it either. I think it was just a matter of, this is what I heard. He put something out there, and then everyone else went crazy with it, thinking he was breaking this news when, you know, Dom just doesn't get a lot of credit for what he.
Well, Dom doesn't really like tweet out that type of stuff.
No, he doesn't.
He puts it in an article. So like if you're not in the know, like if you don't know where to find that, then like you literally have no idea.
Yeah, you've got to.
You're so missing out.
Yeah,
and it's weird because like I guess I'm so out of like what we talked about. I'm so out of touch with like I guess average hockey fans. Like I can't believe people don't know the World Championships. Like what were people just stunned when they saw Team USA with a gold medal? They were just like, oh, what is this?
They only think that Team USA exists for the Olympics. They don't
understand
there's a whole development aspect to Team USA or that there's international competitions outside of the Olympics.
Kenny, let me put it to you this way. The first time I had real easy access to World Juniors was the year McTavish won it in OT.
Oh my God. Dude, I've been watching like the World Juniors since I was like 8. I remember Connor McDavid.
Yeah.
So it's funny because we were talking about the streaming and all the pirating and stuff like that. I used to work for an internet and cable service provider, and people would come in and they would complain about their bills and the streaming services. Like I literally had people come in at least 4 times a week and they'd be like, I have 9 streaming services. This is fucking ridiculous. Everything should just be put on one thing and have access to everything through one app. And I'm like, you just described cable, but you just complained about that one 2 years ago when you came into me and complained about that bill.
Yeah.
So which one do you want? And then they're like, well, I don't even use this one. So why are you paying for it? If you don't watch HBO, why are you paying for it?
Wait, so you had cable, but you didn't have NHL Network?
NHL Network is part of an elevated cable package.
And even then, you didn't get all the games. You got whatever was like
you got one channel. Game. Yeah.
No, World Juniors, you got like USA and Canada games. So that's why I'm like, oh, you didn't realize like that was on TV?
you had to have the elevated cable package, which was like an extra $40. And guess what? Not everybody's parents wanted people sitting in front of the TV all the fucking time, so they didn't get the extra stuff. So you didn't get things like NFL Network, NHL Network,
like each one was separate.
HBO.
You'd have to pay for like HBO or Stars or whatever the other one was, or
AMC
NFL or NHL, and you won't like. Most Americans could not afford that because cable was already like $100 a month, and you had to have cable. Like
more than that, cable bills were ridiculous even before that. Like you're talking, you would get like your cable internet and your landline phone, and your bill would be like $180 a month.
Yeah,
and you were happy about it.
Yeah.
If you wanted other things on top of it, like if you wanted the sports pack, you're talking $30, and that's when you would get things like ESPN ESPN, Deportes, ESPN this, ESPN that, and then by the way, some areas you might get NHL Network as part of that, but you sure as fuck weren't getting NFL Network as part of it. You had to pay the extra $15 for that one by itself. But in order to pay the $15, you had to pay the $30 for the other one. So
and hockey is the least profitable sport in America.
Right. So in order to get NFL and NHL Network for $20, you had to pay the additional $40 to qualify to pay the $20.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. How old do you guys feel just lecturing me on the old cable bills?
Oh, I had to educate people who grew up with it. So like when you get over that, when people come in and go, why did my bill go up? And you go, I don't know. Did you read the bill? And they go, no.
Yep. Or they got HBO for 3 months for free when they signed with their cable company. That was probably the only cable company that served that area. And then the free ran out and they were like, oh, but I got it for free. No, you got it for free for 3 months, babe.
Well, they still do that with the 3 months.
I had people who'd come in. And they would complain about the additional charges on their bill for the movies that they rented.
Yeah.
And it's like, do you remember watching this? Yeah. You clicked rent for $3. Mm-hmm. Do you remember watching this? Yes. You clicked buy now for $9.99.
I mean, I remember that. How long ago was this? Like 2013?
No, this was.
I mean, I graduated high school
4 years ago.
2012.
Oh God.
I remember even the Olympics in college were hard to watch. Like I remember watching TJ Oshie while I was in college in my sophomore dorm. But even like Olympic games, you could like streaming still didn't really exist for them. So you got whatever the two channels that were showing Olympic games deemed as
you were lucky if there were two of them.
Whatever they deemed as like the most popular sports that night during the Olympics.
Right. NBC would be carrying inline skating. And you'd be sitting there going, I want to watch the hockey game. You'd flip over to USA, which was an owned or whatever it was, and you're sitting there going, oh, look, I've got the Olympic hockey, but it's not US, Canada. Mm-hmm. It's Italy, China.
Mm-hmm. I remember just catching the end of TJO. She was in a shootout. And they had switched the broadcast over to that game because it went into a shootout from whatever sport they were showing.
I watched that game. I watched that whole game, actually. Also, that was right. Russia scored, but Quick kicked the post off.
Something like that.
I honestly don't even remember. Ended up not counting the goal, and then they ended up going into that crazy shootout where Oshie scored like 20 times, and
the Olympics is the only time I now get whatever it is, Paramount or whatever. I only get it for the Olympics every 2 years, and then I cancel that subscription.
Oh, I mean, if that's all you're watching on it, that's all you should do.
Yep.
Don't pay for it if you're not using it. I think I just covered that.
Yep, I get it for the Olympics, and then I cancel it because I don't care about any of that other shit on there.
I need to get my Damian Clara fix, so I'll probably be with you on that. Like, I want to watch all those Italy games. even if they lose 10-0 every single game.
Oh, he's gonna turn some heads.
He is so good, and I was just writing about him. The youngest goalie in the SHL by 4 years. He's the only affiliated prospect who's a starter, which is crazy. Like NHL affiliated starter. Like it's unbelievable what he's doing. I wish he was just a little bit more consistent. Like that's his biggest issue. It's the consistency, and that's kind of what's weighing down his stats. Sometimes he's the best player on the ice, and then sometimes he is the worst player on the ice. Like it is crazy. They also have Colin Delia as a backup. I was like, wow. I remember that guy.
Oh, really? Yeah, former.
Yeah, I was like, wow, they got that guy in the SHL right now.
Sorry if I made you feel old, buddy. He said
Okay,
you retired.
I graduated 07.
I was born in 06, so
yeah.
It's all good. I make Chris feel old all the time.
Can't even walk into a bar and order a drink. Hell, he can't even walk into a bar, let alone order a drink at the bar.
Usually I just say random stuff and Chris just goes, oh, I'm like, Chris, what's going on? And he's just like, you make me feel so old.
Usually it's, yeah, well, see, that's why I said, do you remember Versus? At least I got one yes on that one.
Well, I've seen highlights from Versus, but like I was never alive to like watch it. I mean, I probably was alive, just didn't watch. I was too young.
Killing me, man.
Act like I'm still 30. Yeah, that's. I thought you stopped counting at 30.
Happy early birthday, Baz. Also, I'm the opposite.
Yes.
I am 31. I act like a 53 old lady. I don't leave my house ever.
I mean, in fairness, you're in Florida.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to go outside either.
And I'm in a very popular vacation spot. So from March to September, we don't.
Who got this one?
Lindholm.
5.
Yeah.
Was it? Oh, I don't know why. I don't know why Comrie's sitting there hoping for a icing call on that one.
I mean, there's not really much he could do there. That was a beautiful shot.
No, the shot was beautiful, but when the puck's coming down, he was screaming for an icing. He's standing there watching the play with his glove up, and it's like, no, there was no shot that was going to be icing. Bruins had that one all the way.
That's a tough one. That's a backbreaker.
I need one more. I said they were going to put up a 6 spot
Why
tonight.
didn't you bet on this? Did you bet on this game?
No.
Crazy.
And I don't remember what the line was for. I think it was 6.5. No, yeah, 6.5.
I hate the white gloves.
I know. It's terrible.
I just saw it from a different angle.
Yeah, it can get worse.
I mean, I guess I can't really talk about style because like I wear a tinted visor to beer league, so like I'm probably the least qualified person to say anything about other people. But
yep, I got my money line on Montreal.
Nice. Now he can start paying us. I make that joke every time.
No.
He bets like $2, so
I don't bet much.
My favorite volunteer position is my podcast that all of my blood, sweat, and tears goes into.
Last year, because my family does a weekly football DraftKings as well for like $5. Last year in September, I put like $50 in to start the year. I'm still playing on that $50.
That's amazing.
So, I'm not that worried about it, but I'm also not going to sit here and throw it all away on one game.
Let it ride. That's what I hear. Let it ride.
Yeah. Pasternak up to 6 points in his 2 games back.
Yeah, checks out. But they need to trade him. Too many turnovers.
Yeah, too many turnovers.
If he doesn't retire a Bruin, I think I'll cry.
What, Pasternak? That'll be a colossal organizational failure.
Well, I mean, Brad Marchand.
I didn't think Chara was ever leaving.
Chara made sense to me, though, because he wanted to continue playing in a role that the Bruins couldn't offer him.
Yeah.
So once those two heads started colliding, I knew he wasn't going to finish in Boston because Chara's history was he was going to keep playing.
That's a good point.
Similar with Marchand. Kenny, I think you and I were talking about it at the time. I know a lot of people were freaked out by the deal. I was not expecting Florida as the destination. It made sense, but I wasn't I was thinking he would rather go to like Dallas. I know LA had a package that was put together. There was someone else who was involved as well, but once he wanted something Boston couldn't give him.
On the tail end of hearing all of the things afterwards, it made sense.
It was so funny. I was talking to Sam the other day, and he mentioned Zdeno Chara, and I was like, "Oh yeah, Zdeno Chara, what a legend!" Islanders fans hate Zdeno Chara. Like, he was awful for the Islanders. So like their view of Zdeno Chara is so vastly different than that. Like, it was just funny because I was like,
they got him at like 18, and then they got him at 44.
Yeah, I know. Well, I was just saying, I was like,
he didn't get anything in between.
I was like, I can't believe that you're talking about Zdeno Chara like that. He was
also a pest to them when he was on the Bruins. Like,
yeah, they got bumbling Bambi who couldn't skate and still getting used to his size, and then they got the 44-year-old decaying body of a hockey player who couldn't hit anymore. Like, it just. Buffalo's up 1-0. Must have been Kuntar.
Yeah. Oh, if Kuntar scores, it's over.
Oh my God!
Is everybody playing
all
tonight?
The former Bruins. There's 13 games tonight in the NHL.
So
Thursdays are back,
and then there's 5 in the O and 5 in the Q. Yes, I counted
5 in the O, 5 in the Q.
I didn't check the SHL.
The SHL, they only do one game every once in a while, so I always have that like on my calendar whenever they play, especially when certain teams play.
We have the good old SPHL down here.
Oh yeah, that's also on Flow Hockey.
The good old D3ers who, if they're real lucky, will ever see the ECHL. You gotta be super fucking lucky.
Hey, I'm a huge Roanoke Rail Yard Dogs fan right here. Huge.
Listen, we have a team in Pensacola. It's the closest to me. And there have been 2 people from my college that have played for Pensacola. So, I'm winning in life, obviously.
I don't know. My friend who I work with at Isles in the Sound, my partner, he is a big Pensacola Ice Flyers fan. So I don't know how we ever got down to it when we were watching the game, just talking shit on SPHL hockey. But it happened. So I don't know.
Luke Urasek played for the SUNY Plattsburgh Cardinals prior to coming to Pensacola Ice Flyers last December. And that is my alma mater, my one current claim to fame. Have any of the SUNY Plattsburgh Cardinals gone above the ECHL? Nope, they have not. But there's been like 2 of them. So, great D3 hockey.
There's the 6th goal.
Pasta.
There's our 6th spot.
Yeah, what? I saw Kazimir Kaskasuo just got signed in the ECHL. Huge fan of his because he did.
Yeah, he's a character.
Well, he featured the podcast that I was on in one of his videos, so I'm fan for life.
He's a character.
I watched the video and I'm like, this guy's in it, and then I'm like, oh, we're all in it. That's awesome. I still have the screen. I still have a picture of it. I'm like, this is so cool. So big fan for life.
Well, I'm still trying to coordinate with our friend over in Germany.
Ooh.
There's a bit of a time difference there.
Just a little bit.
But he'll be able to offer some insight on the difference of the leagues and,
The DEL.
Yeah.
I wonder what's like the lowest league that an NHL affiliated prospect is playing in. Like, I wonder what is like the worst league that one is playing in currently. I'm so curious.
I mean, there's some of these guys are like, they will play until they die forever.
Let me ask you this though, Kenny. Would you consider the ECHL lower than the OHL, the Q, or the W?
No, I wouldn't consider it lower because it's still professional hockey.
That's why I'm at, because technically the lowest league would be either the Q, the W.
I'm talking about not just here. Like, I'm talking about Europe as well. So like junior leagues in Europe too, depending on what it is. Like, there's some.
I don't think those players are old enough to be drafted.
What is it? There's players that play in like the J like 20 leagues over there. Oh, also, I should probably say, well, what if we did like professional leagues? Professional. What is like the lowest?
Okay, professional.
Because like I know the Islanders, Dennis Goodbog plays in the hockey at top. I was I cannot.
Do we now consider the NCAA professional because of NIL money?
No, it's not professional. It's college.
Which I saw the funniest fucking thing on NIL the other day. Apparently Troy Aikman is freaking out over NIL because he donated a bunch of money for a NIL check to a player who basically came in and dipped after 1 year for football.
That happens all the time.
And so he's all fed up with it. He's doing the equivalent of pushing himself away from the table, going F this.
Yeah. It's not shocking.
And I saw it and I was just like, dude, get over it. What do you think was going to happen when players started making money?
Yeah, because there was a quarterback that went to Ohio State. He took the truck, took the $40,000, and then just did not play, and then transferred to the school that he wanted to go to. So,
also, Gavin McKenna just got $750K and is about to dip from Penn State. Like,
I mean, that's
Penn State paid him for 1 year.
That's not confirmed. Also, Penn State is like
what, the $750?
Yeah, I don't think that's confirmed. I think that's just speculation.
I've got on good authority that it's up there in that range.
I've seen it enough places that
I'm not even just talking publicly.
Yeah.
I know some people who are in the know on that, and it may not be exactly 750, but it is up there. The 750 is not far off.
You know what's crazy?
Was the phrase that I was
It
told.
was 750, and it's like still probably a league that he should have been playing in even if he wasn't getting paid. Like, they're paying him to basically just move up and play for Penn State, which is crazy.
But don't forget, he's no longer the first overall pick, according to some.
I don't think he is.
I don't think he will.
I have really enjoyed watching Ivar Stenberg. I think he's nasty.
See, I don't pay enough attention to ever comment on draft stuff, but I'm also fully.
I still think it's going to be Keaton Verhoff. I still think it's going to be Verhoff because right shot defensemen don't come on that very often.
Yeah.
And so many teams need a right shot D.
Yeah, those guys never come to market like a one, top pairing defenseman like that. I know. I think it's still the same thing that we talked about before. It's just like who is drafting, but instead of Gavin McKenna, it's Ivar Stenberg. It's like depends who's drafting.
Yeah.
Same argument that we had, just different.
Well, I mean, also now that you see Schaefer jump into the league and be what he's been right away, I think more teams are going to look at a player like Verhoff and go, he can do the same thing. I don't think he'll do it to the same level as Schaefer, but he will catch eyes because of his size. The dude's a full-grown adult man.
People didn't even really know about Schaefer until the end because he was injured last year. He was injured for a majority of the season, and he was injured for World Juniors, so he was out for a while. So it was a little bit of a gamble, but it ended up paying off. I could tell you firsthand, like, oh my God, he's disgusting.
Not watching enough of him, but yeah, I've seen enough to know that he is up there, and he is that good. But I just there's too many. Right now, I'm about to flip over to Buffalo, Vancouver. I got to see Trevor Kuntar in his NHL debut. Actually, they've got Lyon in right now, and honestly, if I'm Edmonton, he's the one I'm targeting.
Yeah.
He's a UFA at the end of the season. He easily could be had. Buffalo makes that kind of dumb mistake all the time, and he can get on the hot streak to win in the playoffs.
Buffalo does make that dumb mistake all the time.
But I wouldn't be surprised if their next dumb mistake is Devin Levi.
Man, Devin Levi was awful when he was coming into Bridgeport, and then Bridgeport just out-awfuled him and were terrible.
Just remember how bad DiPietro was before he signed in Providence. Devin Levi can do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
But his season is much higher. Also, we were talking about him earlier. I meant to say it before, but if I'm Boston, one of the players that I'm okay with trading this year is also Murat Husadinov.
Yeah. I mean, he's been a great addition, but I'm meh.
I don't know where he fits long term in the lineup. I can find a spot for him next year, sure, but beyond that, I don't know. And so if a team wants to give me a second or third round pick for him so that he can help build their depth for what they perceive to be a cup run, like New Jersey, for instance, I would do that in a heartbeat. So anyway, Boston has won 6-3.
Woo!
They got the 6th spot. We have been doing this for a little over 2.5 hours. So thank you so much for coming on. Most people don't hang around the entire game, which is very understandable.
That's fun.
Any final thoughts before we sign off?
Not too many of them. I'm interested to see what happens over the next month. I'm holding my prediction on whether or not we actually go to the playoffs until after the new year, because after the new year last year, we came back and went on the 7-game losing streak and we could not figure it out to save our lives. So I'll be interested to see what happens in the next few weeks, but I'm still very on the fence about this team. I'm trying not to get too excited about any of it.
And you have other thoughts that you want to ask after.
And I have other thoughts I want to ask after.
So with that, I want to thank everybody who's been tuning in. Baz, thanks so much for the comments and hanging out with us as well. And like I said, Kenny, you and I have been talking about doing more of these. It's just I do my show on Wednesdays with Gail. And so basically the only other days available, the Bruins are always playing. So they turn into this. So thanks everybody for watching, and we will shoot to be back next week. I'm just trying to think of the calendar. I don't have it pulled up, but yeah, we'll shoot to be back next week, probably during the Bruins game.